Chapter 4905. Between heaven and earth, this blade could cut through everything. However, Lin Xian was not afraid. He clenched his hand into a fist and punched out. The Six Paths fist collapsed the heavenly domain, and the flaming divine blade was cut in half. The expert who attacked also vomited blood and was sent flying. His face was pale, and he was dumbfounded. How was this possible? His fist was actually so terrifying. I'll kill him. Another person walked out. This person had an earth-shattering power. Blood light soared into the sky from his body as if he had turned into hell. In the endless sea of blood, a blood-red scythe of death condensed and slashed forward. Some of the spectators felt their scalps go numb, and they quickly retreated. They realized that the people who attacked were not weaker than the Myriad Transformations Prince in terms of status and strength. The one who attacked before was a great sage from the Golden Crow clan, and now it was the disciple of the Blood Blade Master. The Blood River Master was also a peak great sage existence. How could his disciple be weak? With a slash of the blade, it was as if the blood god had been resurrected. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Great destruction appeared in his hand, and he flew out, turning into a flying dragon that bared its fangs and claws. Boom! The sky was collapsing, and the earth was cracking. The blood-red scythe also turned into pieces, and a black spear pierced the Blood Prince's forehead. His head split open, and his soul roared. Damn it! The Myriad Transformations Prince and the other's pupil shrank. They attacked together. They could see that this demonic expert was too terrifying, and he came from the Sacred Abyss Tower. They had heard of the Sacred Abyss Tower's reputation. Those who could make it onto the list were all top figures. With an angry roar, the five of them attacked together. The Myriad Transformations Prince used the Myriad Transformations Sacred Art, and the terrifying laws could dissolve everything. The demonic aura around Lin Xian was also disappearing. Myriad Transformations Divine Palm. With a palm strike, it shook heaven and earth. Blood River destroying the sky. The scythe of death turned into the sky and pressed down. Solar Divine Blade. The Golden Crow clan's prince turned into a peerless sun and descended from the sky. The other two experts who attacked each threw out a peerless punch. The other person was even more extraordinary, and he actually threw out a trace of primal chaos chi. This was the power to split heaven and earth. The five experts attacked together, and the crowd looked up to them. It's over. That demonic expert is dead. No one could escape from this attack. Buzz. Lin Xian's demonic aura surged to the heavens, as if he had turned into a demon lord. A phantom image appeared beside him as he summoned the dimensional beast, which teleported him and disappeared instantly. The place where he was standing turned into a black hole that connected to the universe. Humph, this brat should be dead. Myriad Transformation, Gongzi coldly snorted. The others frowned. They had let him off too easily. He should have asked him about the information he had. It doesn't matter. If he can find the information, so can we. The man with the aura of primal chaos around him walked upwards. He also wanted to ascend the heavenly court to search for information. Puff. At this moment, the Golden Crow young master was sent flying while vomiting blood. Half of his body was shattered. Boundless devil chi filled the air. Damn it! He roared, and his body shattered the ground. The other four turned their heads in shock. How could this be? He was still alive. They saw that in the void. The man with monstrous demonic chi was coming again, and he was coming at them aggressively. He severely injured the Golden Crow Prince with one strike. Then, he charged at the Blood Prince. Blood Noble roared, and the blood of the 9 heavens and 10 earths shook. But the next moment, he clutched his head and screamed. His soul had been ignited. No. He became terrified as if he had gone crazy. He had been hit by Lin Xian's eye technique. To be precise, it was an illusion technique. The Blood Prince wanted to cultivate the Blood God technique. He had killed countless people in his life because he had too many lives in his hands. Naturally, some vengeful spirits would come to him. Previously, the Blood Prince was powerful and wasn't afraid of anything. But under the influence of the illusion technique, he became terrified. It was as if his body was being torn apart by countless vengeful spirits. His entire person collapsed. Damn it, what kind of power was this? The myriad transformations' young master's expression was ugly. The other two also had grave expressions. This demonic cultivator was too terrifying. In the blink of an eye, he had seriously injured two experts. Let's kill him together. The myriad transformations' young master walked out. He said that he would definitely not be able to escape once I set up the myriad transformations formation. With a wave of his palm, the myriad transformations law danced, sealing the entire world. If one wanted to escape, they would be turned into ashes. Let's see how you escape this time. The myriad transformations' young master sneered. The mysterious man with the aura of primal chaos shouted coldly, I will turn you into nothingness. Lin Xian laughed. Escape? Why should I escape? The ones who will die will be you guys. He waved his hand and charged towards the myriad transformations' young master. The myriad transformations' young master snorted coldly. Myriad transformations Saint Palm. He struck out with his palm. The surrounding demonic energy shattered and dissipated. You are not my match at all. He charged over with a sinister smile. However, Lin Xian used the power of the great dragon sword soul. When he struck out, it was like a black demonic sword piercing through heaven and earth. The myriad transformations Saint Palm was directly pierced through. The myriad transformations young master jumped in fright and quickly retreated. One of his arms was chopped off. Damn it! You can actually break my myriad transformations law. He was really too stunned. What kind of power was this? Their myriad transformations sect's myriad transformations Saint art was extremely terrifying. It had been passed down for a long time and could resolve everything in the world. In a battle of the same level, no one was their match. Unless the difference in cultivation realm was too great and used peerless cultivation to suppress it, only then could one block it. But now, the other party's cultivation did not seem to be higher than his. In fact, his cultivation was even lower than his, but he could shatter his law. It was really hard to believe. Damn it! This kid must have a heaven-defying treasure on him. Thinking of this, he quickly retreated. But in the next moment, he also screamed miserably. His soul was ignited. Damn it, the other party could even use soul attacks. He jumped in fright and hurriedly used his law to extinguish the soul fire. However, he was still a step too late. Although the soul fire was extinguished, he still suffered heavy injuries. His body almost fell from the sky. Black and white elders, kill him for me. Two old men walked out from behind the myriad transformations young master. These were the two old servants from before. One had black hair, the other had white hair. Both of them were great sages and were extremely terrifying. Like ghosts, they came to Lin Xian's side. Withered claws grabbed at Lin Xian's shoulders. In an instant, they grabbed his shoulders. Then they pulled with force. Die. Under this power, the entire sky was torn into two halves. Lin Xian's body emitted a thunderous sound but did not shatter. How was this possible? What kind of physique was this? Demon god body? Black and white elders were shocked. The others were even more dumbfounded. Lin Xian sneered. With a shake of his arms, he grabbed the wrists of black and white elders. Fight with me? His arms shook, waving heaven and earth. Black and white elders danced like windmills, smashing into the ground. With a boom, the ground shattered. Their bodies swayed and they vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Damn it! The two wanted to escape, but Lin Xian's palms were like iron pliers, grabbing their wrists, making it impossible for them to escape. Lin Xian waved again. The two collided, and half of their bodies were smashed. The two collided until they saw stars. Chapter 4906. The Thousand Transformations young master was dumbfounded. The black and white elders weren't weak. They were specially sent by the Lord of Thousand Transformations to protect him. But now, they were being beaten up. Was the gap between them really that big? What level had this mad god reached? The black and white elders crippled their own arms to escape. Their faces were ferocious, and their eyes were filled with killing intent as they attacked again. This time, the laws on their bodies burned like a monstrous fire that engulfed the world. Lin Xian used the human ruler seal in his left hand and the mountain embracing seal in his right. He opened and closed his palms as he charged forward. Under the demonic qi, The human ruler seal transformed into a demonic god with the power to split heaven and earth. It blasted Elder Black into a bloody mist. The mountain-embracing seal transformed into an immemorial demonic mountain that was 100,000 feet tall and descended from the sky. The entire world shook. Elder White was suppressed. Her soul was shaken to death. Dead. The Thousand Transformations young master was terrified. His two super guardians had died just like that. Damn it, he was so ferocious. Hurry up and attack. Before he finished speaking, his hair stood on end because Lin Xian had already arrived beside him. What fast speed? Was it a spatial divine ability? Her scalp went numb. This person's soul was strong, his physique was strong, and he even knew spatial divine abilities. Which race was he from? You dare. The chaotic figure roared. The other war god with a powerful physique also roared. They could also see that this mad god was too strong. If the Thousand Transformations young master died, their side would be completely suppressed. The two of them attacked. One of them shot out the light of chaos, crushing over. The other stretched out a big hand and enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered. His body dimmed as the dimensional beast teleported him away again. But before he left, he used the great dragon sword. This Thousand Transformations young master was very terrifying. If it wasn't for him, it would be very difficult for others to kill him. Even he had to use the power of the great dragon sword. So he didn't hesitate to slash out. The cry of a dragon resounded. The Thousand Transformations young master roared crazily and used the Thousand Transformations sacred art. A Thousand Transformations painting enveloped him, but it was useless. The great dragon sword cleaved open his body, and under the all-conquering power, he vanished into thin air. Was he dead? Everyone went crazy. Myriad Transformations young master's myriad transformations law couldn't dissolve it. Was this a fatal sword? What kind of swordsmanship was that? With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian collected the storage rings of the three fallen cultivators. Then, he turned around again and stared at the other two. If you have any last words, please leave them. The two men's faces were gloomy and cold. The godlike man walked out and said in a clear voice, I want to compete with you in terms of physique. Lin Xian smiled. Sure, if he lost, he would die. You dare to look down on me? The war god shouted in rage and punched. 10,000 lightning bolts danced in the sky. He admitted that the other party was very strong, but in terms of physical strength, he would not lose to anyone. The entire world shook violently, spreading far and wide. Countless people in the distance were also horrified. They looked up at the sky and saw that the sky was collapsing and the earth was cracking. Someone was fighting a great battle. This was Primeval City, and if it was any other place, the entire city would have probably been destroyed long ago. Even so, the scene was still shocking. Countless people looked in the direction of the sound and soared into the sky, wanting to watch the battle. In front, Lin Xian looked at the punch and nodded. You're very strong, but you're not my match. He also clenched his fist and punched out. Six Paths Fist. In the fist, six phantoms connected with each other, as if they had turned into a Six Paths world. He punched out. The godlike man's fist was shattered, revealing white bones. He covered his wound with a terrified expression. Who are you? Me? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Mad God. From today onwards, this name will be your nightmare. As he spoke, he attacked again. The Six Paths Fist waved, and three punches shattered the godlike man into pieces. It was terrifying. You can't kill me. I'm from the Sky Battle Clan. The Sky Battle Clan had been passed down from the primordial era. They were very mysterious and had always lived in seclusion. It was rumored that this clan was incomparably powerful and had astonishing combat strength. It was said that they even dared to fight the heavens. He didn't expect this man's background to be so extraordinary. Lin Xian sneered. So what? When you teamed up with the Thousand Transformations young master to attack me, you should have thought of today's outcome. Lin Xian was unmoved and walked out. Another Six Paths Fist shattered the other party, and that person's soul also entered the cycle of reincarnation. Is he dead? The surrounding people were terrified and almost fainted from fright. They didn't expect that after they reported their family, they still couldn't make the mad god stop. Someone was terrified. No wonder he was called the Mad God. He was really too arrogant and didn't put anything in his eyes. It's over. For great experts had fallen, and he had offended four top forces. No matter how strong this Mad God was, it would be difficult for him to survive. At this moment, there was only one person left in the sky. It was the man surrounded by a chaotic aura. His background was also extraordinary, and he was arrogant and didn't put anything in his eyes. However, Lin Xian had killed 4 great experts in a row, which really shocked him. He knew that he was probably no match for the other party. Although he was unwilling to admit it, it was a fact. His eyes flickered. After thinking for a long time, the chaotic man sighed. I admit that my current strength is inferior to yours. I admit defeat. While admitting defeat, he also gave himself a way out. Although he was inferior to the other party now, it didn't mean that he would be inferior to the other party in the future. He would definitely take revenge in the future. Lin Xian sneered. Since he admitted defeat, he was still so arrogant. Since he admitted defeat, then kneel down and kowtow to apologize. I can spare your life. Impossible. The chaotic man roared. Admitting defeat was already the biggest concession he could make, but he still had to kneel down and kowtow? This was even more uncomfortable than killing him. Why? Not satisfied? Not satisfied? If I had fallen into your hands today, would you have let me go just because I admitted defeat? The chaotic man fell silent. They naturally wouldn't. They would use all kinds of methods to torture the other party to death and get what they wanted. At the same time, he also understood that the other party was also an expert who was more arrogant than him. Therefore, begging for mercy was impossible. He could only use a secret technique to escape. He snorted coldly, and a pair of chaotic wings appeared on his back. He tore open the sky and fled into the distance. Did he escape? Everyone was shocked. Even a powerhouse with a chaotic aura was no match for him. This mad god was really going to become famous today. Looking at the fleeing figure, Lin Xian didn't chase after him. With a wave of his hand, the spear of great destruction appeared in his hand, and he gripped it tightly. Then, he flew into the distance. The great spear of destruction turned into a black lightning bolt and tore through the 9 heavens. It chased after the chaotic figure in front of him. This power was too strong. It carried the indestructible aura of the great dragon sword and the terrifying aura of the demonic path. Between heaven and earth, black lightning descended in all directions because of this power. In front, the chaotic man heaved a sigh of relief. Although he was defeated today, he could finally escape unscathed. It could be considered a blessing in disguise. However, in the next moment, his scalp went numb. He could feel an astonishing power coming from behind him. It was sweeping towards him at high speed. In an instant, it had arrived behind him. Chapter 4907. Has that person caught up? He turned around abruptly, only to see a black spear piercing through the sky. It rushed over with endless thunder and lightning in its wake. It was actually a weapon. Is he trying to kill me with just a weapon? What a joke. The other party is underestimating me too much. I'm stronger than the previous 4 people. Chaos splitting heaven and earth. At this moment, his expression became solemn and the chaotic aura on his body became even more terrifying, turning into laws. In his palm print, it rolled rapidly. He stretched out his arms, one finger pointing to the sky and the other pointing to the ground, as if he was really going to open up a world. The surrounding chaotic laws intertwined with each other, transforming into an illusion of a world that enveloped him. He was like the god of the world, his might unstoppable. Boom. In the next moment, the great spear of destruction blasted on the chaotic heaven and earth, producing an earth-shattering sound. A terrifying storm swept in all directions. Retreat quickly. The people in the distance were terrified. This force was too strong. They retreated one after another, and a few of them who retreated too slowly were instantly torn into pieces. In the distance, the people who wanted to rush over to watch the battle also stopped, their faces full of fear. If this force continued to move forward, they would be courting death. In front, the storm was monstrous. The chaotic man sneered and blocked it. He used his chaotic heaven and earth to block the other party's weapon. Also, this weapon looked pretty good, so he accepted it. Thinking of this, he stretched out his palm and grabbed in front of him. However, an indiscernible crack quietly appeared. Then, within a second, it spread throughout his entire law of primal chaos. Impossible. The chaotic man was terrified. Has the chaotic laws been broken? Run. That was his only thought. However, he still underestimated this attack. Although Lin Xian had only thrown out a single weapon, the force behind it was simply too strong. If the chaotic man dodged, he might be able to escape with his life. However, he chose to resist. This was the most foolish action, and he had to pay the price for his actions. Puff. The great spear of destruction shattered, and the chaotic heaven and earth struck the chaotic man's body, piercing through him. Then, it carried him flying all the way, directly smashing hundreds of mountains, and finally nailing him to a cliff. The chaotic man roared madly, trying to escape. He discovered that the spear contained an indestructible power that directly destroyed the meridians and laws in his body. He couldn't even use his strength. Wong. The void in front of him split open, and a demonic figure walked out, his cold gaze enveloping him. Who are you? The primal chaos man roared furiously. Who are you? Lin Xian countered with a question. His eyes flickered, but he didn't attack immediately. I come from eternal beginnings. Kid, are you afraid? Let me go and I'll let bygones be bygones. At the same time, this weapon will be mine. 10,000 beginnings? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. True spirit world's All Beginnings Holy Land? It seems that you aren't ignorant. The All Beginnings Holy Land is only a part of the All Beginnings Holy Land. Our All Beginnings sect represents too much. Not only do we have our holy land in the true spirit world, but we also have our power in the buried Emperor Star. We are existences that have evolved since the creation of the world. How can you compare to us? All Beginnings. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. It seemed that the names of the holy lands in the true spirit world weren't randomly chosen. Each one of them had a profound meaning behind it. Since you have the power to create the world and also control the primal chaos law, very well, I won't kill you. From now on, you can become my battle servant. What did you say? The primal chaos man was furious. He was going to become a prisoner? What kind of joke was this? If you touch me, the All Beginnings won't let you off. However, before he could finish speaking, Lin Xian's hand grabbed his head. At the same time, a terrifying light flashed in his eyes. Seal of life and death. Once the seal of life and death was planted, one's life and death would be in the hands of the heavens. Lin Xian's ice-cold voice echoed in the other party's mind. The primal chaos man crazily roared. He resisted with all his strength, but under the power of the heaven's secret divine ability, his soul was completely crushed. In the end, his soul dimmed as the seal of life and death was planted in the depths of his soul. From now on, his life and death would no longer belong to the heavens. Lin Xian took back the great destruction spear. The primal chaos man knelt on one knee, greeting his master. What's your name? Lin Xian asked coldly. Master, my name is Pan Xiang. Very well. Lin Xian waved his hand and disappeared into the void with the two of them. Did they leave? The people in the distance were shocked. After a long time, they finally rushed over. Then, they investigated. What happened to the last person? They only saw the shattered mountain peak and the primal chaos blood all over the ground. Could it be that he was also killed? Heavens, the 5 great experts had all fallen. This was an earth-shattering event. The news quickly spread. For a moment, the entire Taiching ancient city was shaken. The factions behind the 5 great experts also went crazy. They sent great sages over and found that it was indeed the case. Damn it! How dare they attack the myriad transformations sect? The Lord of all transformations roared at the sky, his voice shaking the 9 heavens. Who did it? The powerhouses of the Golden Crow clan also came. The Blood River clan also came. When these great sages were angry, heaven and earth would collapse. Finally, they found out that it was a person called Mad God who did it. Mad God, who is this person? Quickly go and investigate. At the same time, Mad God's name spread throughout Taiching ancient city. Not good. Crane Jiuxiao flew back with an ugly expression on his face. What happened? Divine General Wind Snow frowned. Did something happen in the Heavenly Court ruins? He Jiuxiao said, Divine General, that's not the case. It's not about the Heavenly Court, but Mad God. What happened to Mad God? Divine General Cloud asked. He Jiuxiao said, the news has spread. Mad God killed 5 great experts near the Heavenly Court ruins, including the Myriad Transformation Sect, the Golden Crow Clan, and even the Myriad Beginning Sect. What? Divine General Windsnow was shocked. Divine General Cloud's expression also changed. This was a big matter. What was that mad god doing? Divine General Qian Cheng's expression also darkened when he heard the news. Although we are from the Sacred Abyss Tower and don't fear any faction, we can't resist with so many factions attacking together. Moreover, this is Taiching Ancient City, not our territory. Did that mad god not understand this? Where is he? Divine General Qian Cheng, Divine General Long He, if the 5 factions come looking for us, we'll send Mad God out. After all, we can't allow a big battle at this juncture. We can't. Divine General Ocean Origin shouted, Mad God is one of us. If you send him out now, what will the world think of us? I disagree. I didn't agree either. Brother Yun stood up as well. Divine General Wind Snow said, let's not talk about this for now. Let's find that kid and ask him about the situation first. Mad God might be arrogant, but I don't think he would attack for no reason. They moved out to search for Mad God. They weren't the only ones. Everyone was looking for him. Chapter 4908. At this moment, Lin Xian had found a place to hide for the time being. He brought Pan Xiang to the Sword World. Kid, you actually brought someone here again. Who is it this time? The 4 spirit beasts were surprised. They realized that there was someone following behind Lin. I can feel the aura of primal chaos from his body, the spirit dragon exclaimed. The aura of primal chaos was indeed very helpful to this world. The spirit turtle also laughed. That's right, Lin Xian did not kill the other party because the other party was useful. He planned to throw the other party into the Sword World. Let the other party's law of primal chaos provide power to the Sword World. Primal chaos had the power to split the heavens and earth. Perhaps it was what the Sword World needed. Of course, he was still experimenting in the 4 Spirit Valley. The current 4 Spirit Valley was 5 times larger than before. It was no longer a small place. Instead, it was a very large valley. The 4 spirit veins formed by the 4 spirit beasts had also become much larger than before. This made them very happy. The 4 of them stayed here at ease. They even took the initiative to take care of the spirit herbs in the 4 Spirit Valley. These spirit herbs were growing very well. Compared to the outside world, there was an additional layer of mysterious power. Now, with the addition of the aura of primal chaos, it would be even more terrifying. No one knew how far it would evolve. Lin Xian and the others were looking forward to it. After giving Pan Xiang a mission, Lin Xian left. Pan Xiang turned into an elephant, surrounded by the aura of primal chaos, and continuously plowed the land in the 4 Spirit Valley. He was very diligent. As for Lin Xian, he came out once again. He was prepared to return. Calculating the time, it was about time for the auction to begin. He had to tell Hai Yuan Divine General that he had to buy the Nantian Writ before that. The auction had already begun. This time, the Violet Palace took out 13 items from the Heavenly Court. All the major powers arrived one after another. After a few days of preparation, they had already gathered a batch of wealth. There were even people who wanted to join hands in secret. The first item was extraordinary. It was a treasure box with 7 pills inside. The pills of the Heavenly Court were most likely secret pills with miraculous effects. That was why everyone's eyes turned red at the beginning. The price was shocking. Divine General Hai Yuan and company had also arrived. They sat in a booth and frowned slightly. From the looks of it, the allure of the Heavenly Court's ruins was greater than they had imagined. He said that with the resources we currently have, I'm afraid we can only buy one. But which one? Qianchen said. That goes without saying. I remember that one of the 13 treasures is a pill furnace, so I definitely have to buy that one. With that pill furnace, he might be able to refine even higher grade pills. However, Divine General Wind Snow said, I remember that there is a flag. Perhaps it has some magical uses. Why don't we shoot that flag? The two sides had different opinions, and the Divine General of the Ocean Abyss and the others also frowned. They wanted to bid for one of the armors because they felt that it might be able to resist some of the formations in the Heavenly Court ruins. He had to make a decision quickly. This was because the first treasure had already come to an end. It was bought by someone from the Danding School. Pill Cauldron School's great sage Pillfire and the others also went all out. They took out a shocking price and won 7 pills. When they received it, a smile appeared on their faces. Great, they didn't want the pills to eat, but to study them. If they could decipher and recover the pill recipe, they would be able to produce an endless supply of these pills. Then, their wealth would be unimaginable. Soon, the chess piece was bought. It was a blue chess piece with mysterious patterns on it. Divine General Windsnow decided to make a move, but Divine General Qian Chun didn't agree. Divine General Sea Abyss also hesitated. Don't make a move, just wait and see. This isn't the only thing we want. At that moment, the door to the private room opened, and a voice sounded. Who is it? Divine General Wind Snow turned around, and an icy aura instantly erupted. It's me. Space flickered, and the figure disappeared, appearing in another direction. Then, the door to the private room closed. It's you. Divine General Windsnow was stunned. Divine General Qian Chin's face darkened. Kid, you dare to come back? Do you know how big of a mess you've made? Kneel down obediently and let us suppress you. Otherwise, don't blame us for being merciless. You dare to touch him? I don't agree. Sea Abyss stood up, and Divine General Yun also said, Let's ask first. Maybe it wasn't Mad God's fault. Then, they turned around and asked, What's going on? Why did you attack? Isn't it better to just defeat them? Lin Xian said, I have no choice. That 1,000 transformations prince challenged me time and time again, and in the end, he even joined forces with 4 other people to kill me. That scene was the same as the Master of the Great Wilderness. Do you think I would hold back? What? The Master of the Great Wilderness? Could it be that you also found out something? That's right. Lin Xian nodded. Divine General Windsnow was shocked. No wonder those 5 people wanted to attack Lin Xian. Divine General Qian Chung stood up and said, Speak quickly. Lin Xian sneered and looked at him. Oh, didn't you want to suppress me and hand it over to those people? Why, do you still want to attack now? Divine General Qian Cheng's face was cold. Could it be that you want to keep this secret for yourself? Lin Xian sneered. Don't think of me as despicable as some people. I didn't say it because I wanted to make a statement in advance. Do you still treat me as one of your own? This was natural. Divine General Hai Yuan and Divine General Yun stood up. They had always supported Lin Xian. Lin Xian didn't doubt this. Lin Xian only looked at Divine General Windsnow and Divine General Qian Chun. Divine General Windsnow said, If you attacked because you wanted to protect the secret, then it's understandable. Divine General Qian also snorted coldly. This time, we won't attack you. Lin Xian shook his head. Words are no proof. You guys can swear. You dare to not believe me? Divine General Qian Chun was angry. Lin Xian sneered. You didn't even ask about the situation and wanted to suppress me. How can I believe you? Either swear, or I'm going to auction off this secret. You. Qian Chun was angry. Divine General Windsnow said, I swear on my Tao heart that I won't attack you because of this matter. Lin Xian nodded and looked at Qian Chun. What about you? Divine General Qian Chun gritted his teeth. He had no choice but to swear on his Tao heart. You can say it now, right? He snorted coldly. Lin Xian looked around again. He set up the array and said, There was a token among the 13 treasures. If he got the token, it would definitely be of great use. Divine General Hai Yuan and Qian Chun were surprised and asked, How do you know? Lin Xian said, I went to the ruins of the Heavenly Court before. There was a crack inside, so I didn't go in. But I have a secret technique. So I saw some of the scenes inside clearly. He didn't see anything else. He only saw a heavenly gate with dragons and phoenixes dancing on it. It was called the Southern Heavenly Gate. The legendary Southern Heavenly Gate. Divine General Windsnow was shocked. and the others also exclaimed. Qing Hong, Zi Hong, and the others were stunned. It seemed that the myths and legends weren't all fake. Even a sleeping little Zhuang opened his eyes. He said, I remember that among the 13 treasures, the token has the word Southern Heavenly carved on it. Chapter 4909. Everyone was shocked when they heard that. At the same time, they also understood why Lin Xian wanted the token. The South Heaven Gate and the South Heaven token. There must be a connection between the two. They decided to bid for the South Heaven token with all their might. Divine General Hai Yuan and the others made their decision. Next, they waited patiently. One treasure after another appeared in front of them. The eyes of the great sects and families of the ancients were red. However, they did not make a move. Finally, when the South Heaven token appeared, Divine General Hai Yuan made a move. After an intense bidding war, in the end, they obtained the South Heaven token. Damn it. On the other side, the people from the Thousand Dragon Court looked gloomy. They also felt that the token was extraordinary. There were 2 words on it. Perhaps it was related to the legendary South Heaven Gate. However, they had not seen the South Heaven Gate with their own eyes, so they were not too determined. In addition to the previous treasures, they did not have enough wealth to compete for the South Heaven token. In the end, they missed the opportunity. Great, they got it. Divine General Hai Yuan immediately exchanged for the South Heaven token. When they got it, they heaved a sigh of relief. After studying it carefully, Divine General Hai Yuan placed the South Heaven token in the void. Everyone looked over to see if there were any changes. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He realized that there were extremely complicated runes in the South Heaven token. It was impossible to completely understand it. However, with the South Heaven token, they might be able to enter the Heavenly Court. Next, they waited patiently for the auction to end. The next few items were eye-opening. There were a total of 13 items. In the end, they were all auctioned off. Of course, not every family or sect could obtain them. Only the top 12 could. The last item was kept by the Z Mansion sect. It was a scroll. The people of the Z Mansion sect did not open it, so no one knew what was inside. Some people guessed that it might contain the secrets of the Heavenly Court, or it might be a magical cultivation technique of the Heavenly Court. However, the Z Mansion sect would not give it away. In addition, the other sects and families also obtained corresponding treasures, so no one guessed that it was the Z Mansion sect. After the auction ended, everyone dispersed. They were prepared to go to the Heavenly Court ruins to search for opportunities. As Lin Xian and the others were leaving, they were stopped by more than one person. It was the House of Myriad Transformations, the Gold Crow Tribe, and Lord Blood River. Where's Mad God? Tell him to come here and die. A cold voice rang out, causing one's scalp to go numb. The people who hadn't left yet all stopped. His face was filled with surprise. Sure enough, they came looking for him. The news of Mad God killing 5 experts in a row had already spread far and wide. Naturally, they also knew about it. However, while everyone was looking for Mad God, he seemed to have disappeared. This time, the 5 big shots finally blocked the door. It seemed like they were going to suppress the other party. The faces of Divine General Hai Yuan and the others sank. What was the meaning of this? The master of all transformations harumphed coldly. The Mad God killed my grandson. I will definitely avenge him. My disciple will not die in vain. Lord Blood River snorted coldly. The Golden Crow clan, the Heaven Battling clan, and even the All-Beginning clan coldly snorted and handed over that brat. I did it because they deserve to die. A cold voice rang out from behind. Everyone turned their heads to look. When they saw the demonic figure, they were all stunned. Heavens, he actually dared to come. Was he Mad God? He was too arrogant. Those were the 5 great leaders. He dared to appear at this time. Did he really think that he could withstand them? Brat, it's you. When the master of all transformations and the others saw Lin Xian, extremely cold killing intent erupted from their eyes. The surrounding void collapsed and the earth cracked. Divine General Hai Yuan snorted coldly and stepped forward. However, they were still on guard. The Divine General of the Sea Abyss had to take out a shield to block the power. It couldn't be helped. The Lord of all transformations and Patriarch Blood River were both pinnacle great sages. They were one realm higher than them. Lin Xian was naturally on high alert as well. However, he didn't retreat. A dragon's roar came from his body. There was even a black vortex around him that swallowed this terrifying power. The master of all transformations walked out and stared at Lin Xian. He said coldly, "Mad God, are you obedient? Come here and accept your death. Or do you want me to suppress and torture you to death?" The others also walked out. Patriarch Blood River sneered, "You divine generals, hurry up and leave. I can spare you. If we really fight, the 5 of you won't be enough. I can beat you with one hand." Damn it. Divine General Yoon and the others gritted their teeth. Do you think there are no peak great saints in our sacred abyss tower? So what if there are? Are they here? The all-beginning patriarch snorted coldly. Since they aren't here, there's no difference. Now that there are 2 peak great saints here, do you think you can still escape? With that, Patriarch Blood River stepped forward. The blood on his body surrounded the 9 heavens, causing the divine generals to stiffen. They couldn't resist at all. However, at this moment, a terrifying aura erupted from the divine general's body. Divine General Hai Yuan's shield blocked Blood River. Divine General Feng Shui and the others also had magic treasures in their bodies. They broke through the void and roared at the sky. Are you going to be our enemy? On the other hand, Divine General Qian Chun snorted coldly. I won't interfere in this matter. He stood at the side. He had promised Lin Xian that he wouldn't attack Lin Xian, but it didn't mean that he would help him. It's over. This kid is really dead. Even Crane Zhouxiao, Yin Ling, and the others frowned. If this matter wasn't handled well, a war would break out in advance. They might not even be able to enter the heavenly court. Lin Xian sneered coldly. I killed the 5 of them because they deserved to die. Even if I had another chance and met them again, I would still kill them without hesitation. Lin Xian's voice caused the scalps of the surrounding people to go numb. This kid didn't kowtow in front of such a situation. Instead, he continued to be arrogant. Was he not afraid of death? Kid, what did you say? The Lord of all transformations was enraged. A huge hand swept across the sky. Lin Xian quickly retreated. At the same time, he shouted coldly, "If you kill me, you can forget about entering the heavenly court." Boom boom. An earth-shattering sound rang out. A large spatial crack appeared and swallowed the Lord of all transformations' attack. You dare to stop me? The Lord of all transformations roared. An elder of the Gu family walked out with his hands behind his back. What do you mean by that? He asked while staring at Lin Xian. The others also did the same. Could it be that this kid knew how to enter the heavenly court? What a load of nonsense. Even the Lord of the Great Wilderness didn't know. So how could he? Lord Blood River snorted coldly. Stop pretending. You can't fool us. That's right. This little trick was laughable. The people of the Myriad Beginning clan and the Sky Battling clan also walked out. They didn't believe it. Chapter 49:10. The Lord of all transformations and the others didn't believe Lin Xian's words at all. They walked up again. Lin Xian snorted and stood with his hands behind his back. Where's the Lord of the Great Wilderness? What do you want? Someone from the Purple Mansion asked coldly. The Lord of the Great Wilderness also walked out and stared coldly at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, When you escaped from the ruins of the heavenly court, did you see a heavenly gate standing in the 9 heavens? Did you see 33 heavens in the distance? One of the 3rd heavens was broken. How did you know? The Lord of the Great Wilderness was shocked, although he only saw it from afar. But it was exactly as Lin Xian said. The surrounding people were stunned. What did that mean? The Lord of the Great Wilderness actually agreed with what Lin Xian said. Could it be that he really knew the secret of the heavenly court? For a moment, countless people were in an uproar. The eyes of the Purple Mansion, Thousand Dragon Court, and the others lit up. The Lord of all Flowers' pupils also shrank. Attack. These people attacked crazily, but the experts of the Gu family, Thousand Dragon Court, and Purple Mansion all stopped them. What was the meaning of this? Were you trying to stop them from taking revenge? The Lord of all transformations snorted. The Lord of Blood River and the others also frowned. The Lord of the Great Wilderness snorted. Those 5 people were attacking this kid because they wanted the secret of the heavenly court. Since they attacked, they had to be prepared to die. The Lord of the Great Wilderness had been attacked before, so he naturally knew this kind of anger. The Thousand-Dragon Court also snorted. Since they were weaker, they had to accept their fate. The Gu family and the Yi family also nodded. Damn it! The Thousand Transformations sect, Battle Sky Clan, and Golden Crow Clan all gritted their teeth. Damn it, they didn't expect this kid's words to change the situation so drastically. Even Divine General Haiyuan and the others were stunned. The Mad God had such ability. Divine General Qian Chong was even more stunned. He originally wanted to use the Lord of all Transformations to kill Lin Xian and watch the show from the side. But he didn't expect Lin Xian to survive. And the shocking thing was beyond his expectations. People from the Z government walked out. The Master of the Great Desolation said, "Mad God, I sincerely invite you to come to the Z government. We will provide you with great resources. The Violet Palace Hall can be given to him. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty can give it to him as long as he brings us into the Heavenly Court." The people from the 10,000 Dragons Dynasty also laughed. The Yi clan and the Gu clan both stepped forward to extend their invitations. For a moment, everyone was in an uproar. They did not expect Mad God to be favored by so many people. Lin Xian laughed heartily. "Thank you for thinking so highly of me, but I'm very angry today. I want these people to disappear in front of me." After saying that, he looked at the myriad transformations ancestor and the others and coldly shouted, "Scram!" These people relied on the fact that they were Great Sage late stage, or even Great Sage peak stage existences. They were so strong that they wanted to suppress him. How could he give face to these people now? "You." The faces of the master of all transformations and the others instantly darkened. Who were they? When had he ever been scolded by a Saint King? The Master of the Great Desolation walked out and said coldly, "Please leave. The Z Mansion does not welcome you." The people from the 10,000 Dragons Dynasty, the Gu clan, and the Yi clan also walked out. "Everyone, it's better for you to disappear today. Otherwise, don't blame us for asking you to leave." Damn it! The 5 snobbish people gritted their teeth. Although they were powerful, the people in front of them were all from the Emperor clan except for the Z Mansion. Even if the Z Mansion was not from the Emperor clan, it was still a supreme existence that existed 70,000 years ago. It was said that it had a close relationship with immortals. If the 4 major powers joined forces, they would not be able to resist at all. Moreover, they came alone. If they really fought, their souls would be destroyed. The 5 experts could only grit their teeth. They stared at Lin Xian. "Brat, just you wait." After saying that, the 5 of them left hatefully. He actually left? The 5 giants came with great force, but they could not do anything to a Saint King. This Mad God was really too heaven-defying. In an instant, all kinds of deeds and reputation about him spread even more widely. The people from the Z Mansion rushed over and invited Lin Xian to be a guest. Obviously, they wanted to know more secrets about the Heavenly Court. Divine General Haiyuan and the others were nervous. Was Mad God going to leave them? Lin Xian smiled. "Don't worry, I know what you all want. How about this? 5 days later, we will go to the Heavenly Court together. At that time, I will need everyone to work together." "Okay, then we will meet again in 5 days." The people from the Z Mansion left, and the people from the other sects and families also left. They began to prepare and set off for the Heavenly Court in 5 days. Everyone left. Divine General Haiyuan brought Lin Xian and the others back to the villa. After returning, he asked, "Do you really know the secrets of the Heavenly Court?" Divine General Wind Snow also asked, "Why didn't you say so before?" Lin Xian smiled. "What can I know?" I told them, "It is actually no different from what you see." Back then, when I took a look, I saw the southern heavenly gate. I also saw the 33 heavens. That is what I am talking about now. Other than that, I don't know anything else." "What?" The divine generals were stunned. The geniuses on the Saint Origin ranking were also dumbfounded. Even Xiao Zhuang was stunned. He asked, "Are you trying to trick him?" Lin Xian said, "You can't call it lying. We have the southern heavenly token, right? Maybe we can go in. Even if I don't say anything, when we take out the southern heavenly token, those people will definitely fight for it. Maybe a war will break out. We only have so few people. We can't fight against so many forces. Why don't we take the initiative to take it out and join forces with them? Divine General Chen's face turned black. Damn kid, if you have this idea, why didn't you say so earlier? This way, we won't have to spend a lot of money to buy the southern heavenly token. Lin Xian glanced at him and shook his head. Are you stupid? Without the southern heavenly token, what bargaining chips do you have to negotiate with them? This is not your territory. You. Divine General Chan was so angry that he vomited blood. How dare he call him stupid? Divine General Windsnow and the others nodded. Yes, the southern heavenly token was in their hands. That was why they had enough trump cards to negotiate with the other party. They were shocked. Did this mad god plan this beforehand? Divine General Hai Yuan said, Aren't you afraid that the Lord of all transformations will suddenly attack and kill you? Lin Xian smiled. No, I'm not. His body gradually faded into the laws. This is just a clone. If he dares to attack, I will let Zifu and the others kill them. Divine General Hai Yuan and the others gasped. He even prepared a clone. That means that even if the 5 giants attacked, they wouldn't be able to hurt Lin Xian's real body. Where is your real body? Divine General Wind Snow asked. Lin Xian smiled. He will appear in 5 days. Divine General Hai Yuan looked around. All right, we know. Divine General Hai Yuan looked around. Let's start cultivating. 5 days later, we will enter the heavenly court. Chapter 49:11. 5 days passed by in the blink of an eye. On this day, the entire Taiching ancient city set off for the heavenly court. Lin Xian also soared into the sky. Finally, they arrived. There were already countless people waiting ahead. The most dazzling ones were the Z Mansion, the Thousand Dragon Court, the Gu family, and the Yi family. Other than them, the other ancient families and peerless sects were also there. The 5 giants who had caused trouble for Lin Xian previously did not appear. It was unknown if they had hidden themselves. Lin Xian could not be bothered. The Desolation Lord and the Draconic Lord walked over and asked, Mad God, what method do you have? You can tell us now, right? Lin Xian nodded. Then, he called a few divine generals over and discussed with them. The divine general of the Ocean Abyss said, The token in our hands is called the Southern Sky Token. It can be used to contact the Southern Sky Gate. This is the chance to enter the heavenly court. What? The Southern Sky Token? Countless people were in an uproar. They recalled that there was indeed a token among the 13 treasures that were auctioned. Was that the legendary Southern Sky Token? The Thousand Dragon Court's Dragon Reflection Lord's pupils constricted. He had felt that the token was extraordinary and wanted to bid for it. However, he did not have enough wealth. He did not expect it to be so important. Since that was the case, there was no time to lose. The Yi family's experts said. The divine general of the Ocean Abyss and the others nodded. They held the Southern Sky Token and stood at the front. Then, they said that they needed everyone's power. No problem. The Gu family's expert walked out. Then, the other experts walked out and formed a formation to provide them with power. The divine general of the Ocean Abyss held the Southern Sky Token and activated it. The great Tao on it rushed out and flew forward. The void split open and the aura rushed out. Everyone felt a primordial power rush out as if it had crossed through time and space. It was really effective. The surrounding people were excited when they saw this. It was not enough. They needed more power. Everyone, stop hiding. Otherwise, no one would be able to enter. The divine general of the Wind Snow sect shouted. The others used their power again. At the same time, more people took action. They knew that without the Southern Sky Token, they would not be able to enter. The entire world was shaking violently, and the abandoned illusion of the heavenly court was becoming clearer and clearer. Everyone saw that the clouds seemed to have dispersed, revealing a heavenly gate standing before them. The heavenly gate was magnificent. One pillar after another stood tall, with dragons and phoenixes painted on them. Suddenly, their pupils shrank. because they found that there seemed to be a figure standing at the gate of heaven. Someone was inside the southern heavenly gate. There was actually someone here? Who the hell is it? He attacked with all his might. The overlord of the Grand Desolation roared in rage. The others moved out in a frenzy. At this moment, the illusory figure became clearer and clearer. Suddenly, Lin Xian was also shocked. Damn it! Why did that guy look so much like Heishan? The eyes of the Great Desolation Master, Lord of the Dragon Creation Master, and the others burst out with extremely fierce radiance as they looked ahead. But in an instant, the shadow in front of him disappeared, and the southern heavenly gate stood there, emitting a desolate aura. The figure was nowhere to be seen. What happened? Did he disappear? Several top-notch experts frowned. The others were also in an uproar. Someone said that it might be an illusion. Perhaps. Everyone nodded. After all, that thing did not appear again. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. He should be sure that it was Heishan now. After all, the other party looked very similar to Heishan. Furthermore, Heishan had the Sky Lantern and was the successor of the Heavenly Court. If there was someone who could enter earlier than them, it would definitely be Heishan. This guy, I thought he wouldn't come, but he still came. Lin Xian smiled. When the time came, he could cooperate with Heishan. Finally, all the clouds disappeared, and everyone sensed that an independent space had appeared before them. They could enter. The Gu family's expert sensed for a while, then waved his hand. The void in front of them fluctuated, and a whirlpool gate appeared. Let's go. Figures walked in one after another. Not only the older generation's experts and super mighty figures, but the young geniuses also entered. This was an opportunity. The Southern Heavenly Gate was a legendary existence. Now that it appeared here, there might be a heaven-defying opportunity. Let's go. Ocean Origin Divine General and the rest waved their hands. Lin Xian, Peng Wanli, and the rest followed. In the next moment, they entered. They felt an even more desolate aura that made their scalps tingle. The space was vast, but no one dared to move forward after entering. Some said to go quickly. Only after crossing the Southern Heavenly Gate could they enter the true Heavenly Court. In an instant, some people turned into streams of light and rushed over. But in the next moment, they were sent flying back while vomiting blood. Two of the older generation's experts fell to the ground with pale faces. 4 of the younger generation's bodies turned into blood mist. Damn it, what's going on? Everyone was stunned. Was there a peerless killing array? They were extremely shocked. Lin Xian frowned, and his eyes flickered. At this moment, the master of the Great Wilderness, master of the Long family, Gu family, and Yi family all turned their heads. Fellow Taoist from the Sacred Origin Tower, please lend me the Southern Heavenly Token. Ocean Origin Divine General and the rest took a deep breath and walked up with the Southern Heavenly Token. Everyone gave them strength, but in the next moment, they were sent flying back. Even the Southern Heavenly Token dimmed. No, the Southern Heavenly Token seemed to be able to enter, but to cross the Southern Heavenly Gate required other methods. What's going on? They all looked at the 2 experts of the older generation. The 2 older generation experts vomited blood and recounted what they had experienced. The others were shocked. It turned out that when the 2 older generation experts rushed forward and crossed the Southern Heavenly Gate, they saw an indomitable giant. He was wearing a divine armor and punched at them. The 2 of them could not withstand the force and were sent flying while vomiting blood. A giant wearing a divine armor punched them. The surrounding people were stunned. They did not see it at all. Even the peerless experts frowned. Was it an illusion? The master of the Great Wilderness and master of the Long family stared at Lin Xian. They said, "Mad God, you should know the secret of this place. Why don't you go first?" Everyone looked over. Divine General Haiyuan and the rest's expressions changed. Oh no, they had already heard from Lin Xian that Lin Xian did not know the so-called secret. They had only done so to use these people to fight against the 5 great leaders. If they let Lin Xian go up now, it would be very dangerous. Lin Xian's expression was grave, but he knew he could not back down. If he angered these peerless experts, they would probably take action immediately. Therefore, he nodded and walked out. Then I'll be the first to ascend the southern heavenly gate. Since the Black Mountain appeared here, it meant that there must be a way to pass through. Although he did not cultivate the heavenly courts techniques, he had the heaven-devouring jar. Furthermore, he had heard it from the two older generation experts. The southern heavenly gate seemed to have a guardian, which was why they could not pass through. Chapter 49:12. Thinking of this, Lin Xian walked forward. The moment he stepped through the southern heaven gate, he realized that the scene in front of him had changed. An indomitable giant clad in divine armor threw a punch at him. A vast and majestic power surged, terrifying everyone. No wonder those people couldn't withstand this punch. It was too terrifying. It could make one's soul tremble and make one want to kneel on the ground. It was ridiculously strong. Lin Xian was shocked, but he quickly calmed down. He had fought all the way and had seen all kinds of things. Although the fist in front of him was terrifying, he wasn't afraid. He felt that this should be an illusion, a test for him. Kill. With a roar, he punched out. The black fist transformed into 6 worlds that danced between heaven and earth. Lightning filled the sky as the 6-path fist surged. A monstrous punch. Lin Xian's fist and the fist of the armored giant collided. A vast ocean appeared around them as the power swept through the 9 heavens. Buzz. Lin Xian's body passed through the other party's fist and walked through the southern heaven gate. He suddenly turned around and realized that the illusion of the armored giant was gradually disappearing. Did he pass? He took a deep breath. The people outside were shocked when they saw this scene. He passed through. Heavens, how did he do it? Exclamations sounded one after another. The 2 experts who had failed previously were dumbfounded. Facing the punch of the armored giant, this guy could actually withstand it. It was too unbelievable. Mad God, what's going on? Hurry up and say it. The dragon sovereign roared. The eyes of the 1,000 Dragons dynasty and the others turned red. Lin Xian turned around and said plainly, the 2 seniors were right. With the giant in the armor, this was a kind of test. Those who could withstand it passed, and those who couldn't were eliminated. After all, the Southern Heaven Gate was a legendary existence. Not everyone could ascend it. It was actually a test. Was it true? Was this kid lying to them? Did he have a special method? One after another, voices sounded. It was obvious that they didn't fully believe it. At this moment, someone stood up. I'll do it. It was also someone from the Sacred Origin Tower. It was Peng Wanli. He used the great Peng's spreading wings and flew over quickly. The moment he ascended the southern heaven gate, he saw the same illusion as before. He subconsciously wanted to retreat, but he quickly reacted. This was a test. Fearless. Kill. He rushed over. Finally, he passed through the southern heaven gate and ascended. Great, I did it. I succeeded. Peng Wanli roared towards the sky. Lin Xian looked at the other party and nodded his head. As expected of the Heavenly Rock tribe, this fellow was indeed an expert and his courage was commendable. Go out of the southern heaven gate. In the next moment, they saw a punch coming. This punch could surpass the gods. No. Some people were frightened and flew backwards while vomiting blood. Some people were so frightened that they knelt on the ground. There were also people who responded forcefully. Lin Xian was right. Not everyone could ascend to the legendary place. 90% of the people who came were beaten out, and only 10% could successfully pass. However, there were truly too many people. Even though it was only 10%, it was still enough to make one's scalp go numb with a single glance. Lin Xian's people passed. On the other side, the people from the 1,000 Dragons Imperial Court and the Purple Mansion also passed. There were people from the great sects and sects who passed. Of course, more people were eliminated. They could only stand outside the southern heaven gate and watch this scene with despair. They probably had no chance in this lifetime. Let's go. Lin Xian and the others didn't pay attention to those who failed. They turned around and walked inside. Even the southern heaven gate had appeared. Would the Lingxiao Hall appear? And that 33-story building? Was it the legendary 33 levels of heaven? The deeper they went, the more desolate it became. There were clouds under their feet, as if they had really arrived at the mythological era. That aura terrified them. Gradually, Some people couldn't take it anymore. Cracks appeared on some people's bodies, and some people vomited blood. No, I can't walk anymore. Grandpa, save me. They were terrified. Those experts used their saint domains to envelop these people. Only then could these people continue to move forward. Lin Xian also felt a chill down his spine. Fortunately, the four divine generals beside him worked together to use their saint domains to protect them. After walking for a long time, they frowned. What was going on? Why couldn't they reach the 33 levels of heaven? Where was the Lingxiao Hall? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light as he looked through the sky. The others were also using their saint domains. Some people had strange laws in their eyes, while others took out formations. Everyone was probing. At this moment, the Gu family's super mighty figure sighed. The 33 levels of heaven seemed to be just an illusion and didn't really exist. What illusion? It was impossible. Even the southern heaven gate had it. How could the 33 levels of heaven not have it? The Yi family's unparalleled expert sighed. It wasn't that they didn't exist, but that they weren't here. Now, it seemed that the heavenly court back then had been separated. There had been heavenly court ruins before, and now another one had appeared. Who knew if it would appear again in the future? Perhaps the 33 levels of heaven were in other ruins, but there didn't seem to be any here. Could it be that this was all an illusion? The people from the Purple Mansion frowned. Apart from the southern heavenly gate, what else was real? The people from the 10,000 Dragon Court also frowned. The others were also in an uproar. It couldn't be, right? If there was only one southern heavenly gate, then what treasures were there? Who dared to trespass into the 12 Dao palaces? With a roar, everyone's souls trembled. 12 Dao palaces, what were those? Some people were puzzled. The people from the Purple Mansion sucked in a breath of cold air. Old Zhang from the Purple Mansion said, "Are the legendary 12 Dao palaces here? Great, there must be countless treasures here." Everyone guessed that it must be an incredible existence. But where were the 12 Dao palaces? They discovered that there seemed to be a golden palace in front of them. Its aura was majestic and extraordinary. Was this the legendary 12 Dao palaces? Let's go. The group of people went forward. Countless figures appeared in the surroundings. They wore divine armor and held swords and sabers in their hands. Their auras were piercingly cold. They stood there and roared. "If you want to pass the 12 Dao palaces, you have to ask us heavenly soldiers first." Boom. At that moment, the ground trembled again. A giant wearing divine armor walked over. He held a giant axe that could split the heavens. None of them were as big as his foot. He stood there and roared. His axe chopped down like a tsunami. Everyone realized that this time, it didn't seem to be an illusion. Damn it. Who were these people? Were there still living existences in the heavenly court? Impossible. It was said that the heavenly court had existed for a very long time. It had been destroyed several times, but it had been restored each time. The most recent time was 50,000 years ago. Did these people survive 50,000 years ago? What kind of joke was this? They were all crazy. Chapter 49:13. The appearance of the Dao Palace and the celestial soldiers and celestial generals shocked them. Everyone's eyes turned red. There must be treasures ahead. In an instant, they rushed forward. However, they underestimated the power of the celestial soldiers and celestial generals. In an instant, they were all sent flying back while vomiting blood. In fact, even the great sage's body was torn apart. Damn it! How could they be so strong? The armored giant was even more terrifying. With a punch, even the super mighty figures were sent flying. Their pupils constricted. Who was this? A puppet. The Purple Mansion cultivator gritted his teeth and said, "It seems that we have to work together." Those at the peak of the great sage level rushed out and attacked the giant. The other late and mid-supreme saints attacked the celestial soldiers and celestial generals. As for the others, they couldn't help here. The cultivators in the battle ahead shouted angrily, "We'll hold back the celestial soldiers and celestial generals. You guys hurry to the Dao Palace ahead. If there are treasures inside, take them back." Hearing this, the remaining people began to move. Most of them were young geniuses. Of course, There were also some middle-aged people and even older people mixed in, but their numbers were very small. Especially when they entered the Tao Palace, the mid-supreme saints screamed and retreated. They couldn't enter at all. Seeing this, the others breathed a sigh of relief. Only early supreme saints and sacred kings could enter. It seemed that it wouldn't be too dangerous inside. The divine general of the ocean abyss and the others also sent a voice transmission to Lin Xian, telling them to be careful. Lin Xian and the others nodded. Now they finally knew why the divine generals had brought them here. It was indeed because of the limitation of cultivation. Since the divine generals couldn't enter, they could only rely on them. The group walked in. After entering, everyone was shocked. It was incomparably vast inside, as if it was a world. They looked up and saw stars twinkling in the sky. It was boundless. Was this really just a palace? The celestial court's methods were really heaven-defying. The group spread out, each on guard. At the same time, they quickly searched around. Soon, someone exclaimed that there were weapons. Someone picked up a broken sword. It was rusty, but it emitted a terrifying aura. Attack. The others saw it and immediately attacked. These weapons might contain the Great Path. If they could comprehend it, they would definitely benefit a lot. In an instant, a great battle broke out. It was not only that place. Shattered weapons could be seen all over the place. Some of those weapons radiated divine might, while others were covered in rust. However, without exception, all of them had the great Tao interwoven within them. Everyone quickly made their moves. Lin Xian ignored him. His eyes flickered as he quickly set off with the group of people from Sacred Origin Tower. "Kid, where are you taking us?" The Flying Corpse King said coldly. Zhu Lai was also dissatisfied. Lin Xian said, "I'm not leading you. If you want to leave, go ahead. I want to take a look inside." "Humph, I won't be with you." The Flying Corpse King and the others snorted and left one after another. On the other side, Peng Wanli and the others also said, "Let's move out first. If there's any danger, let's call out. We will provide support." With that, he left with Xiao Zhuang and the others. Only Lin Xian, Xue Qi, Qing Hong, Zi Hong, and Yin Ling were left. Lin Xian looked at them. "You guys can act as well. I want to act alone." With a tap of his foot, he flew forward with Xue Qi following behind him. Qing Hong snorted. How arrogant. If they fought alone, they would be at a disadvantage. In fact, they weren't the only ones. Some of the others also formed small teams and searched around. Some of them acted alone, and these were all very powerful. However, most of them were united. They were all based on their families and sections. In addition to the people from Taiching Ancient City, there were also many people from Holy Abyss Ancient City. There were people from the Holy Abyss Tower, the three great orthodoxies, the clan of the ancients, and the peerless great sections. Many people from the Dragon Palace had come to Daozhong, such as Nangu. The people from the Divine Union didn't come because Lin Xian asked them to cultivate properly. There were also people from the Sky Sect and Earth Sect. Yi Wudao, Guangming, and the others came. Even Bing Ling, the Overlord, and the others came. These people acted aggressively and began to fight for the weapon fragments. A palm tore open the void and split the heads of a few geniuses. Then, it took the 3 weapon fragments and disappeared quickly. Damn it, it's a spatial mystique. It's the Gu family. When the others saw this, they retreated in fear. They retreated one after another. Gu Feng's figure appeared. He looked around and snorted. A bunch of trash. At this moment, he turned his head and saw a figure surrounded by light appear. The light on this person was very faint. He wore a loose robe and was very low-key. However, Gu Feng frowned. "Yao Guang, you're really haunting me. Why? Do you want to attack me?" Gu Feng's eyes shone with a cold light. Yao Guang smiled and put away the corpses. "There's no point in attacking. I like to collect the strength of others. Let's work together. What do you want to do?" Gu Feng asked. Yao Guang said, "I want the corpses and you want the weapons. We won't clash." "Okay." Gu Feng nodded. The two of them had reached a temporary agreement. On the other side, Xue Qi asked, "Where are we going?" Lin Xian and the others left. However, they only brought Xue Qi with them. He said, "Let's go inside." The treasures outside aren't worth our effort. Buzz. At this moment, someone charged over from the front. More than a dozen figures surrounded him. Lad, let's see how you can escape. Do you think that you'll be safe just because you have the Purple Mansion and the 10,000 Dragons Empire protecting you? Today will be the day you die. Cold voices rang out one after another. These people were the members of the 5 Great Heads. They had been waiting for an opportunity, and now they finally got it. You're really stupid. The 10,000 Transformations Gates experts walked out. If you were with the people from the Sacred Abyss Tower, it wouldn't be easy for us to attack you. However, you're so arrogant. Since you're leaving with only 2 people, I'll send you on your way. The Golden Crow clan's people laughed. They stared at Xueqi and said, "This beauty is pretty good. Lad, after you die, I'll take good care of her for you." Attack! They shouted angrily, and the 5 Great Heads members quickly attacked. Lin Xian sneered coldly. "Do you want to die? I'll fulfill your wish." He looked at Xueqi and said, "Don't hold back." Xueqi nodded, and terrifying ice-cold energy appeared on her body. At this moment, the 9 Yang Divine Body and the 9 Yin Divine Body appeared together. The people in front of them sneered coldly. 2 people wanted to fight against them? What a joke. They were all top-notch experts and geniuses. If they joined hands, killing them would be as easy as flipping their palms. Attack! In an instant, they rushed over. Xueqi and Lin Xian's power also erupted out. Their divine bodies were inextricably linked, and when they appeared together, it was terrifying. The 9 Yin Divine Body and the 9 Yang Divine Body appeared together. Chapter 49:14. The 2 divine bodies unleashed their power at the same time, and both of them were stronger than before. The dozen or so experts in front of them had cold smiles on their faces, but their expressions changed in an instant. Darn it! Why are they so strong? Awful. There is something wrong with these 2 people. Let's leave quickly. As soon as those people exchanged blows, they were injured and spat out blood. Lin Xian sneered coldly. Since they have come here, they shouldn't leave. He attacked them forcefully, and his body was engulfed by terrifying flames. As for Xueqi, the sky was filled with ice and frost, and the dozen or so people were killed in the end. The battle here alarmed the people in the distance, and they all came over to investigate. Then, they saw such a scene. They all felt their blood run cold. These 2 people were a little too ridiculous. How could they be so strong? Many people wore alarmed looks, and some powerful experts' eyes shone with a cold radiance. It seemed like these 2 people were peerless enemies. They must be careful if they ran into them in the future. Lin Xian looked around and snorted coldly. He then turned around and continued forward. After flying for a short distance, Lin Xian stopped and furrowed his brows. Xueqi asked, "What's wrong?" Lin Xian said, "There is a formation here, and I sensed an unusual aura. Be careful." As he spoke, he walked forward. When he took his 3rd step, a radiance flickered in front of him, and a terrifying roar reverberated throughout the land. What's that? The expressions of the people in the vicinity, who were looking for treasures, changed when they heard this roar. This is the roar of a demonic beast. Did a demonic beast come here? It can't be. It's normal for demonic beasts to come here, but this roar can only be emitted by some super experts. But those people should have been blocked outside. Let's go and take a look. One after another, people moved quickly. Lin Xian, who was in front of them, also felt his blood boil. He was forced back, and his face became pale. "Are you all right?" Xueqi was worried. Lin Xian shook his head. He was all right. He had just suffered a loss because he was careless. He used the immortal art to quickly heal his injuries, and a cold radiance shone in his eyes. His golden gaze penetrated the land. "What's this?" Lin Xian was startled. He saw the image of a lion. The lion's entire body was golden, as if it was made of gold. It appeared in front of them and quickly walked over. Every step made no sound, but there was endless great Tao interweaving, emitting an extremely terrifying aura. Roar! The lion rushed over and roared at the sky, with a trace of fearless strength. Lin Xian frowned, then snorted coldly and waved his hand. sending out a powerful force. Six Dao Fist. The power of reincarnation surged and sent the golden lion flying with a single punch. The golden lion turned into a ray of light and disappeared. Then, it drilled into Lin Xian's arm. What's going on? Lin Xian was startled, but in the next moment, he was overjoyed because he realized that it was a power that could be absorbed by her. Kid, what did you get? Someone rushed over from behind, and upon seeing this sight, he bellowed furiously. Lin Xian turned around and saw a figure standing in the air behind him, surrounded by strong winds. He recognized Feng Shaoqing. Not only was he from the Wind Clan, he was also from the Z Mansion. He sneered and refused to answer. Are you looking down on me? Feng Shaoqing hollered in rage. He was a genius from 5,000 years ago, and after he woke up, his strength increased by leaps and bounds. He had already reached the Great Saint Realm. At this moment, he waved his hand and many cracks spread out, bringing with them the power of the wind. Lin Xian didn't even turn his head. He stomped his feet and terrifying demonic energy interweaved, turning into black lightning that blocked his attack. Feng Shaoqing was forced back, and his expression became solemn. What was going on? More people came? One of them was like lightning, and the other had the power to suppress heaven and earth. They were both geniuses who had woken up from a deep sleep thousands of years ago. Time-passing water, Saint Sky suppression. They were all from the Z Mansion. Apart from them, the other experts also rushed over one after another. Feng Shaoqing pointed at Lin Xian and said, I saw a golden light enter his body, so it must be some treasure. The others were shocked that such a thing had happened. An expert from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty walked out and said coldly, Mad God, take out what you got. There was a hint of command in his words. In his opinion, the reason why Lin Xian was able to survive until now was because of the protection of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Otherwise, the 5 giants would have suppressed him long ago. Lin Xian glanced at him and sneered. Are you ordering me? Who do you think you are? Scram. The expert from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was furious. He was so angry that his body trembled. Kid, are you challenging me? His body emitted a terrifying purple light that turned into a giant dragon and roared at the sky. It seems that you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Let me teach you a lesson. He struck out with his palm, and it was like a giant purple dragon that stretched out its dragon claws, covering the sky and earth. Lin Xian snorted coldly and shot out the light of the demon god. It turned into a huge net that enveloped the purple dragon and sealed it. The two collided, and the void shattered. You don't have the right to teach me a lesson. Damn it. The purple dragon from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had an ugly expression. At the same time, people from the Sacred Abyss Tower rushed over. Qingheng asked, What's going on with the mad god? Lin Xian glanced at his companions and said indifferently, Earlier, a phantom attacked me and was shattered by me. So, it turned into energy and entered my body. There's a formation ahead. There might be more. Be careful. After saying that, he walked forward. Xueqi followed beside him. It's another formation. Suddenly, another earth-shattering roar sounded. It turned into a golden lion that covered the sky. Lin Xian used the 6-path fist to shatter it. It turned into a golden light that merged into his palm. Did you see that? He waved his hand behind him. The surrounding people were shocked. So that's how it is. Let's go too. For a moment, they all walked forward. The formation in front of them seemed to have been activated. Roars rang out one after another, resounding through the sky. Zilong shot out a terrifying phantom and killed the golden lion in front of him. He also felt a golden light enter his body. His expression changed, and he became excited. Great, I feel a force that can be absorbed. Kill. He rushed to the left. The others did the same. However, although Lin Xian easily dealt with the golden lion was very terrifying. Someone was immediately sent flying. His body was shattered, and blood flowed everywhere. Damn it, why is he so strong? They thought that it would be easy to see that guy shatter it with a punch. These people's expressions became unsightly. The Flying Corpse King looked at these people and sneered. Stupid things, How dare you come here without such strength? Get lost. How dare you look down on us? The two people were furious. They charged over, but they were sent flying by the Flying Corpse King. The Flying Corpse King grabbed their souls and sneered. I'll refine you into corpses. Endless death energy rushed out of his body and enveloped the two people. The two people were terrified, but they soon stopped breathing and turned into two zombies that followed beside him. The Flying Corpse King laughed. Ha ha, it seems that I can form an army of hell. Chapter 49:15. These powerhouses continued to move forward, and at the same time, people continued to retreat. Moreover, they realized that the further they went, the stronger the golden lions that appeared. In the end, everyone's speed became very slow. Even those top-notch experts had stopped. Lin Xian also stopped. He had already shattered 24 golden lions and obtained 24 rays of light that merged into his body. It allowed his power to increase. At the same time, he felt that there seemed to be some mysterious imprints in his mind. These golden lions seemed to be using some kind of divine ability. Lin Xian recalled carefully and realized something. However, it was too vague and unclear. It seemed that there were too few golden lions attacking. If there were more, it might be possible. The other powerhouses naturally also realized something. Reaching level 24 was already extremely difficult. Any further, and one would be extremely powerful. Even Lin Xian would have to exchange over 100 blows before he could win. Roar! Those who could stay here were all top powerhouses. At this moment, an earth-shattering roar came from the front. It was a golden lion that walked out. The light on the golden lion was even more terrifying. It even had a divine aura. Its aura was different. Lin Xian and the others looked solemn. Moreover, everyone realized that there was only one golden lion this time. How could they fight? Everyone wanted to fight for it, but no one dared to act rashly. The people behind had already stopped. It wasn't that they didn't want to go, but they didn't have the strength. Some people wanted to go forward without caring about anything, but they were instantly killed. After dozens of top prodigies died, the surrounding people were afraid. If they didn't have the strength to go forward, they would be courting death. Damn it! Feng Shaoqing saw the golden lion rushing forward. He shouted coldly and used the wind spirit blade technique. The terrifying blade light split the world. The golden lion kept swaying. Although it was huge, its speed was extremely fast. In an instant, it was in front of Feng Shaoqing. Then, it grabbed and slapped at him with an earth-shattering aura. It was like a peerless divine palm. Feng Shaoqing's pupils constricted. He was careless. This one was much stronger than the previous ones. He wanted to retreat, but it was too late. He was sent flying by the palm. Half of his body was shattered, and his internal organs were turned into ashes. Damn it! He fell to the ground and screamed. Stupid human! You overestimate yourself. A cold voice sounded. The surrounding people were all shocked. This golden lion could even open its mouth to speak. It was too unordinary. Roar! The golden lion in front of him roared at the sky, unleashing its roar divine technique. Not good. Retreat quickly. Everyone's blood was boiling. The people at the front were frantically retreating, while the people at the back were at a loss. They discovered that the sound only covered a certain area. As long as they left that area, they would not be attacked. Lin Xian coldly snorted. He stomped his foot and slashed out like a peerless demonic blade. He waved his hands and tore apart the void, charging forward aggressively. Boundless ice appeared next to Xue Qi, and it froze all of these voices. She also walked over. Apart from them, the others also made their moves. This was also a test. If they couldn't withstand this sound, they probably wouldn't be able to advance any further. In the previous attack, they had all absorbed the power of gold, and their strength had increased compared to when they first arrived. Now, they were displaying their full strength. In the end, 60 people successfully passed. They walked out of the lion's roar and came to the front. The golden lion looked at these people and nodded. The people who came this time were not bad. Follow me. Then, he turned around and walked forward. Lin Xian and the others behind him took a deep breath and quickly followed him. They ran all the way. They came to the depths of the Doctrine Palace. The Golden Lion King in front of them stopped. He knelt on the ground respectfully, as if he was worshipping something. Lin Xian and the others behind him were shocked. They saw a golden coffin on the ground in front of them. It had an extraordinary aura, and it emitted a mysterious aura. Countless people were shocked. They didn't know who was buried in this golden coffin. Lin Xian was even more shocked. This was because he seemed to have seen this golden coffin before. When he was in the second astral realm, he had found a golden coffin. At that time, he had found the toad in that place. Lin Xian remembered that a woman was buried in that golden coffin. She had a human body and a snake tail, and she was extremely mysterious. She was even called the Queen by the toad. Now, he saw a similar golden coffin. Lin Xian was shocked. Thinking about it, both sides should belong to the same camp. Could that mysterious woman be from the heavenly court? At the same time, could the person buried in the golden coffin be related to the lion? What were the 12 Doctrine Palaces? Were there 12 powerhouses buried? Lin Xian didn't know. At this moment, the golden lion in front turned around and said in a clear voice, "Trial takers, you will receive a test. If you can successfully pass the test, then we will teach you the supreme technique of the heavenly court, Fearless Lion Seal." Hearing this, many people exclaimed, "The legendary Fearless Lion Seal? Could it be that the one buried was the Golden Lion King? That was a legendary powerhouse with a mysterious origin and a heaven-defying bloodline. He was actually buried here." Those people had heard of the Fearless Lion Seal before. What kind of test did they have to pass? Zilong, the powerhouse of the 10,000 Dragon Court, asked in a deep voice. The eyes of the others also flickered. The golden lion in front said, "First, luck. Second, strength." Luck? Zilong frowned. How was this a test? The golden lion smiled and waved his hand. The sky shook and the earth shook. Endless spatial cracks appeared and swallowed many people. Not good. Someone exclaimed and wanted to dodge, but he was instantly teleported out. Damn it. Roars sounded one after another. Half of the 60 people were teleported out, and only 30 were left. The remaining people were alarmed, their scalps going numb. Was this the so-called luck? If they were unlucky, they would be teleported out. Zilong's body also turned cold, but he soon smiled. If he wasn't teleported out, it meant that his luck was very good. Lin Xian frowned slightly. Xue Qi, who was beside him, had been teleported away. When she left, Xue Qi said, "Husband, it's up to you now. I'm afraid I won't be so lucky." Was it really random? Lin Xian was surprised. He turned around and found that his friends were also gone. Yi Wudao and Gu Feng were not there. Were they unlucky? Lin Xian felt that something was wrong. He guessed that the two of them should have cultivated the imperial scripture, which was why they were teleported away. Outside, the 30 people were teleported out. Many of them cursed. Damn it, why was my luck so bad? Gu Feng's face was cold. He wanted to use his spatial divine ability to kill his way back. Yi Wudao, who was beside him, said calmly, "Don't go. You and I have the imperial scripture. It might conflict with the heavenly court's ultimate techniques. If you force your way over, aren't you afraid that the peerless formation here will kill you?" Gu Feng's body shook and he stopped. His expression became incomparably ugly. Chapter 49:16. In the end, Gu Feng snorted coldly and did not continue forward. Instead, he went to other places to look for opportunities. Although he had the Imperial Sutra, who would complain about having too many trump cards in their hands? But now, it seemed that it was impossible to learn the Fearless Lion Seal. He could only improve his cultivation and great Dao laws. Yi Wudao was the same. He turned and left. The others, on the other hand, were still waiting unwillingly. In front of the golden coffin, there were only 30 figures left. The golden lion stomped his foot again. The ground split open, and another 8 figures appeared. The 8 figures were like statues, and they were all lions. However, according to the order, each statue had an additional lion head, from 1 to 9. The aura on them was also getting more and more terrifying. You can withstand my lion roar, but let's see if you can withstand the next lion roar. Every time you pass one, you will obtain a part of the cultivation method of the Fearless Lion Seal. If you pass all of them, you will be able to learn the complete Fearless Lion Seal. As soon as he said that, everyone took a deep breath. It seemed to be a difficult test, but they were not afraid. Zilong was the first to walk out. His strength was unparalleled, so he was prepared to take the test. The others watched patiently. Well, let Zilong check it out. They could also use this to deduce what their success rate was. Zilong was very strong. After blocking the two-headed lion, he blocked the third head, then the fourth head. When he came to the fifth head, he was beaten out. He retreated and vomited blood, his expression turning ugly. "Damn it," he roared. "You lost your chance." Zilong wanted to go forward, but the golden lion said coldly, causing him to stop. The others were also in an uproar. There was only one chance? The golden lion said that there was only one chance. Unless someone had a better result than him, he could challenge that person. If he won, he could take away his opportunity. There was only one chance for such a challenge. Hearing this, the surrounding people sucked in a breath of cold air. This was really cruel. Zhulong walked over and asked, "What did you feel just now?" There was only a physical attack. Was there a soul attack? Zilong's face was cold, but he still said it. After all, the other party was also from the Illumination Dragon clan. The Illumination Dragon clan was still willing to join forces. Zhulong nodded after hearing this. He felt that he should be able to surpass the fifth. However, he still waited. Two more people came forward, but in the end, they were not even as good as Zilong. One was defeated at the third statue, while the other was defeated at the fourth statue. Zhulong could not wait any longer and walked forward. He had been defeated at the sixth stone statue. His results were better than Zilong's, but that was already his limit. Zhulong didn't say anything else. His companion, the Flying Corpse King, was sent out. He looked at Lin Xian, Xiao Zhuang, Peng Wanli, and the others and coldly snorted. Although they all came from the Sacred Abyss Tower, he wouldn't impart any of his experiences to them. "Let me do it." Tyrant walked out. The people around them were surprised. They must be from the tyrants. The physiques of these people were extremely terrifying. This overlord was also extremely famous. How many statues would he be able to walk past? In the end, he also stopped at the sixth statue. Could it be that no one could reach the seventh statue? 20 people had finished participating, and the highest result was the sixth statue. There were still 10 people left. Everyone was in despair. There weren't many people left who were strong enough. At this moment, Xiao Zhuang walked up. He opened his sleepy eyes, yawned, and walked forward. Was this guy still asleep? Sheng Tianzhen snorted. The others also laughed. He looked so unreliable. He would probably be defeated at the second statue. However, to everyone's surprise, Xiao Zhuang passed 5 statues in a row and was about to continue to the 6th. Everyone became nervous. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. This Xiao Zhuang was indeed mysterious. It could even be said that he was unfathomable. He didn't know if Xiao Zhuang could pass, but he was also looking forward to it. How was that possible? Zhu Long snorted. On the other side, Tyrant wasn't too sure either. However, Xiao Zhuang actually broke through. He went to the 7th statue. Damn it! How did he do it? Zhu Long was shocked. Zilong and the others also narrowed their eyes. This person's strength was not ordinary. No, someone shook his head. He seemed to be a soul-type expert. I've heard of him. Logically speaking, his physique shouldn't be so strong. How did he do it? Could it be that the factors in the assessment weren't necessarily physique and soul, but something else? For a moment, everyone was discussing. Xiao Zhuang also went to the 7th statue. He came to the 8th statue. Everyone was stunned and even became nervous. Was this guy going to succeed in obtaining the seal of the Fearless Lion? However, Xiao Zhuang finally retreated at the 8th statue. He sighed. Forget it, there was no need to force things. He was very open-minded. This guy was the one who had gone the furthest. Countless people were shocked and looked at him with red eyes. Although he didn't pass completely, he definitely had more information than they did. When the time came, he might even be able to use this incomplete divine ability. In my opinion, other than strength, there's also luck. Didn't I say before that this test is strength and luck? It's not just about teleportation, but also about luck during the assessment. Zilong walked out and said coldly, I want to challenge him. He already had one chance to challenge him, and he was prepared to use it now. Sure. The golden lion stomped its foot and the ground cracked open, revealing an arena. The two of them were automatically teleported up. Everyone was surprised. Was this Xiao Zhuang really lucky? Xiao Zhuang sighed. You're really annoying. I'm already sleepy, but you still want to disturb me. Do you know the consequences of my anger are terrifying? Although he was seriously angry, in the eyes of others, they all wanted to laugh. This guy was here to make fun of them. Zilong snorted coldly. I advise you to be obedient and give me all the information you obtained. I can spare your life. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. A shocking aura of the Tao of Dragon appeared on his body, and at the same time, a dragon phantom coiled around his body. Then, he slapped over with his claw, shattering the void as he charged forward. This claw was filled with an endless amount of murderous intent. Xiao Zhuang sighed. He was hit by the claw, and his body turned into countless pieces. The surrounding people were stunned. Was he killed in one strike? Torch Dragon snorted coldly. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The others soon realized that the other party didn't die, but turned into countless butterflies. They danced between heaven and earth. What a trick! Zilong formed a seal with his palms. The dragon phantom coiled and spat out purple flames that filled the sky. This was dragon fire. Chapter 49:17. Looking at the butterflies flying around him, Zilong sneered. He unleashed dragon fire, which swept through the 9 heavens. He wanted to melt the butterflies. However, the butterflies turned into a sea of vicissitudes. The dragon fire in the sky disappeared. Zilong's face was pale. Feeling suppressed, he spat out a mouthful of blood, his expression cold. I didn't expect you to be an expert. However, you've completely angered me. He roared and 2 flaming sabers appeared. He grabbed them with his dragon claws and charged forward. The terrifying light was tens of thousands of feet long. It was as if a fire dragon had come to life and slashed forward. The butterflies that filled the sky continued to dance, as if they were about to ascend and become immortals. They passed through the endless flames and saber light and arrived in front of Zilong. Zilong felt dizzy. Oh no, it's a soul attack. He had to guard his mind. At the same time, he roared at the sky. However, it was too late. His body fell, foaming at the mouth, and he fainted. Was it over just like that? The surrounding people were shocked. They had thought that it would be an earth-shattering battle. Who would have thought that it would end so quickly? However, Zhulong and the others were frowning. They knew Zilong's strength. The fact that he had fainted so easily was enough to show how terrifying Xiao Zhuang was. If it had been a battle of life and death, Zilong's soul would have been destroyed. Xiao Zhuang walked down and fell asleep at the side. The arena disappeared. Torch Dragon went up and woke Zilong up. Zilong roared at the sky. Damn it! How dare you use such despicable methods? What a disgrace! Lin Xian snorted coldly when he saw this. Despicable methods? It was clearly a fair battle. You're inferior. So why are you embarrassing yourself here? You've disgraced the dragon race. You. Zilong roared and stared at Lin Xian. Mad God, do you want to die? His dragon claws flew out, but they were interrupted halfway by the golden lion. How dare you attack in front of me? You're breaking the rules. Scram. He slapped out with his palm, which turned into a fearless lion and sent Zilong flying. Zilong's body shattered. He screamed and flew into the distance, disappearing. Whoever dared to be impudent would die. The others were terrified and lowered their heads. This was a supreme existence left behind by the heavenly court. They were no match for him at all. Zhulong's expression was cold, but he did not dare to say anything else. Outside, those people were still bitterly holding on, fighting against the lion phantoms that appeared from time to time. However, it was very difficult for someone to break through the limit and walk over. At this moment, they saw a figure flying back. What is it? They were all shocked. Taking a closer look, Zhang Xian discovered that the person had landed on the ground. It was a person. He seemed to be from the dragon race. Wasn't this Zilong? He was a top expert of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, and he was actually beaten out. Who was it? What happened in the battle ahead? Voices could be heard one after another. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's people were also shocked. What was going on with Lord Zilong? Zilong stood up and roared at the sky. His broken body healed, but in the next moment, his body swayed and his face turned ugly. Although that blow didn't take his life, it did cause him serious injuries. Previously, he had been overjoyed after absorbing the golden light to increase his strength. However, now that he was seriously injured, his expression turned ugly. In that case, he would fall behind the others. Damn it! He took out some precious treasures from his storage ring and swallowed them with a vicious expression. The surrounding people didn't dare to ask anymore. Everyone could see that the other party was filled with killing intent. Many people even left quietly. However, everyone still heard him roar. Mad God, I will tear you into pieces. I won't let you off. The surrounding people were shocked. Did Mad God defeat him? This Mad God was too terrifying. He didn't even give face to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. On the other side, outside the Heavenly Court ruins, two streaks of light flew past one after another. They were extremely fast and entered the ruins in an instant. They arrived at the Southern Heaven Gate. Was this the legendary Southern Heavenly Gate? It was indeed majestic. The first person scoffed coldly and walked forward. Very quickly, he saw an armored giant charging towards him. That person shouted coldly. The dragon energy on his body was shocking, as if he had turned into a dragon god. He instantly tore apart the phantom. He strode in. Not long after, another person arrived. This person's body was wrapped in black and white. It was also mysterious and terrifying. After he arrived, he carefully sensed it and walked in with ease. He entered the Southern Heaven Gate and flew towards the two people in front. Very quickly, they heard a huge battle erupting in front of them. There were also some terrifying great sages. Those people sensed the arrival of two experts and turned their heads. Then, someone exclaimed, "Dragon Prince, are you out of seclusion?" The Dragon Shine race was overjoyed. The others were also surprised. They looked carefully and realized that one of them was extraordinarily mighty, with 10,000 dragons revolving around him. Without looking at his cultivation, just the aura of his bloodline was even more terrifying than the Dragon Sovereign. The Dragon Prince was probably the only one in the world who could do that. He actually came too? The Master of the Grand Desolation's eyes shone as he stared at the other party. But soon, he shook his head. No, it wasn't the real Dragon Prince. It was just an incarnation. The Dragon Sovereign said, "Dragon Prince, there are 12 Tao palaces ahead. There are heaven-defying opportunities in them." The Dragon Prince laughed. "I understand." He rushed forward and soon entered the Tao Palace. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect the Dragon Prince to send an incarnation. But this wasn't the end. Not long after, another expert came from behind. He was like a black and white deity, causing people to tremble. Who was this person? His aura wasn't any weaker than Long Huangzi's. In fact, he was even stronger. It was Kuan Pengzi. Divine General Windsnow exclaimed when he saw him. Countless people were shocked. Kuan Pengzi was also a prince. Not long ago, he was crowned as the Crown King. This person's strength was above the Dragon Prince's. Was he here too? He should be an incarnation too. The Master of the Grand Desolation shone brightly. The others also looked solemn. The two princes had sent two incarnations. Obviously, they were both interested in the Heavenly Court. Divine General Windsnow went forward and explained the situation. Kuan Pengzi nodded and flew towards the Tao Palace in front. In the Tao Palace, countless people felt the aura of the two and were shocked. Some people recognized them, such as the people from the Dragon Palace and the Heaven Sect. They exclaimed, "It's the Dragon Prince. Kuan Pengzi is here too. Heavens, are they going to enter and obtain the Heavenly Court's treasures?" Everyone was shocked. In their hearts, these two people were godlike existences. They were two mountains that stood at the peak of bloodline and talent. They were something they could only look up to. It would be difficult for anyone to surpass these two people. It was even impossible to get close to them. When Purple Dragon saw the Dragon Prince, he said, "Dragon Emperor, Mad God has gone too far. Please take revenge for me." When the others heard this, their scalps went numb. If the Dragon Prince attacked, could Mad God resist? Chapter 49:18. What a terrifying aura! Yi Wudao raised his head, and his eyes shone with a sharp light. He sensed the aura of the Great Emperor. Of course, he knew that it wasn't the real Great Emperor, but the Crown Prince. They had inherited the strongest bloodline of the Great Emperor. He felt as if he was facing a great enemy. The Heavenly Emperor Sutra circulated quickly in his body, and he seemed to have turned into a golden god of war. On the other side, Gu Feng also sensed it, and the void scripture in his body also circulated. His entire body merged into the void. On the other side, Yao Guang also raised his head, and his eyes lit up. The Crown Prince? If he devoured the two of them, his strength and talent would probably surpass the Crown Prince's. He was looking forward to it. However, he didn't dare to make a move. He knew that the Crown Prince was too terrifying. He had countless trump cards and might even bring an extreme weapon. It would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens if he wanted to succeed. However, he wouldn't miss the opportunity. In the sky, Kuan Pengzi and the Dragon Prince also sensed two powerful battle intents, and they even sensed a trace of the Great Emperor's aura. Were they the other Crown Princes? They looked down, their gazes piercing through the 9 underworlds. Then, they stared at two figures. No, they weren't the Crown Princes they knew. These two people should be from the monarch race. They had the ancient, desolate body and cultivated the Imperial Sutra. Although their talent and bloodline weren't as good as theirs, they were qualified to compete with them. But now, these two people were too weak. Shaking their heads, Kuan Pengzi and the Dragon Prince ignored Yi Wudao and flew into the distance again. In front of the golden coffin, Lin Xian and the others were still trying, and there were less than 5 people left. The one with the highest result was Xiao Zhuang, who had reached the 8th statue. The others couldn't even reach the 5th statue. Could it be that no one succeeded? Countless people sighed. At this moment, Lin Xian took a deep breath and walked out. He was ready to try. Everyone looked over. They had heard of the Mad God's name before. Even if they didn't know, they were shocked by the fact that he had killed 5 experts in a row and fought against the 5 giants. Therefore, at this moment, everyone was talking. There were discussions. Can this guy succeed? I think it's possible. There were also people who shook their heads. Humph. So many people found it difficult to reach the 9th stone tablet. I don't think he has much hope as well. Under everyone's questioning and curious gazes, Lin Xian walked forward. The 2nd stone tablet, the 3rd stone tablet. Lin Xian's speed was very fast. Soon, he arrived at the 5th stone tablet. This was the place where Zilong had arrived. Previously, Zilong had wanted to make a move on Mad God. He wondered if this fellow would be able to pass. Everyone noticed that Lin Xian seemed to have passed the 5th stone tablet very easily, which was surprising. It seemed like this Mad God's strength was above Zilong's. Next was the 6th stone tablet. Zhulong was nervous. This was his result. Could the other party surpass him? Soon, his pupils shrank and his face turned cold. Damn it, the other party had surpassed him without much effort. He reached the 7th stone tablet. Lin Xian also passed, which made everyone stunned. This guy's strength was somewhat heaven-defying. He was going to attack the 8th stone tablet. Would he be able to pass? Previously, Xiao Zhuang had stopped at the 8th stone tablet. Lin Xian walked forward and looked at the stone tablet in front of him. It was a lion, coiled on the ground. Its 8 heads were solemn and dignified, emitting a terrifying divine aura. Lin Xian walked forward again. To be honest, the test this time was very terrifying. The lion statue was constantly emitting power. It impacted his physique and even suppressed his soul and bloodline. This was a comprehensive test. However, Lin Xian was not afraid. He was confident in himself. He must obtain the fearless lion seal. He walked over, his aura as deep as the sea, and charged forward. The two collided, causing the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. Countless large cracks interweaved. The surrounding people exclaimed. This guy actually blocked it. Zhu Long and the Overlord's pupil shrank. Previously, Xiao Zhuang was quickly defeated at the 8th stone tablet. However, Lin Xian was now able to contend with it. He might very well succeed. Xiao Zhuang also opened his sleepy eyes. There were butterflies flashing in his eyes. As expected of the 9-yang divine body, it seemed to have been cultivated to an extremely high level. Lin Xian walked forward and waved his fist. The six-path fist pressed forward. The other party unleashed the fearless light, seemingly fearless. The two collided again. The battle erupted. Everyone was shocked. The mad god's strength was so terrifying. At the same time, they were also glad for Zilong. Fortunately, Zilong did not fight the mad god. Otherwise, he would probably be beaten to death. After 200 moves, Lin Xian forcefully broke through the other party's divine ability. He walked over and passed the 8th stone tablet. The surrounding people exclaimed. He really did it. This was the last one. Would he have a chance to obtain the fearless lion seal? The surrounding people's eyes turned red. Although they were all top experts, there were still differences in strength. It seemed that the mad god was above them. They could not believe it. Qing Hong and Zi Hong were also shocked. The two of them could only reach the 6th stone tablet. However, if they worked together, they should be able to reach the 7th. However, they were not confident about reaching the 8th stone tablet. However, Lin Xian did it. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile as he walked towards the 9th stone tablet. At this moment, he suddenly turned around, and an extremely cold light burst out from his eyes. The golden lion also roared at the sky. The others were stunned as well. Soon, they felt a power that could topple mountains and overturn seas. What a terrifying aura. Someone was coming. Who was it? Was it one of those peerless experts or super mighty figures? Impossible. There was a cultivation limit, so they could not come. In other words, this person was at most an early-stage supreme sage. How could an early-stage supreme sage be so terrifying? They did not dare to believe it. Unless they thought of a possibility, and all of them widened their eyes. In the next moment, they saw two figures arrive one after another. One of them was like a dragon god, surrounded by the aura of 10,000 dragons. The other person had a black and white aura around him. He was extremely mysterious. The Dragon Prince, Kuan Pengzi, everyone exclaimed. They had guessed that this would be the result, but they did not expect the two princes to really come. Everyone swallowed their saliva. They felt the suppression of their bloodlines. It was too powerful. It was as if they could not raise their heads in front of these two figures at all. Lin Xian's eyes also burst out with an extremely cold light. Princes? He clenched his fists. His body also swayed as he felt the pressure. Humph! His divine body bloomed with light. The great dragon's sword soul roared with a terrifying power to resist. So what if they were princes? He also dared to fight. Chapter 49:19. Everyone was suppressed by the auras of the two martial emperor's sons, and they could not raise their heads. However, Lin Xian took a step forward, emitting an extremely terrifying aura. There was even the roar of a dragon. Someone was going to fight with the imperial princes. Who was it? The surrounding people were shocked. They looked out of the corner of their eyes, and then their scalps went numb. It was Mad God. They saw Mad God standing beside the 8th statue, looking up at the sky arrogantly. Above, the two imperial princes were also stunned. Someone could withstand the pressure of their bloodline? Who was it? Did this person also cultivate an imperial scripture? There were only two kinds of people who could compete with them. First, they had the imperial bloodline like them. Second, they had cultivated an imperial scripture and possessed an imperial secret technique. Other than that, only the extremely terrifying experts of the older generation could compete with their auras. Of course, those experts of the older generation couldn't enter, so they had forgotten about Lin Xian at this moment and frowned. The other party's demonic aura was monstrous. He couldn't be an imperial prince, so he had to have cultivated an imperial scripture. He's from the dragon race, Kuan Pengzi said indifferently. The dragon prince frowned. He had indeed sensed the aura of the Tao of dragons in the other party's body, and it was extremely powerful. Which dragon race are you from? The demonic dragon race? The dragon prince frowned. However, he didn't take it to heart. Then, he asked again, "Who is Mad God? How dare you challenge the Dragon Palace and the 10,000 Dragon Court? Come out and die." As soon as these words came out, everyone's scalps went numb. It was over. The Dragon Prince was really here for revenge. Some people from Holy Abyss Ancient City knew about Mad God's matters. Previously, Mad God had fought with Zilong, causing Zilong to be sent flying. More importantly, Mad God had challenged the Dragon Palace. He had even killed many experts and geniuses of the Dragon Palace. At that time, the Dragon Prince had not come out of seclusion. Now that he had come out, was he going to settle the score? "I am him." Below, Lin Xian shouted coldly, and the aura on his body burst out again. It seemed that he was going to dominate the 9 heavens. "You're Mad God?" The Dragon Prince frowned even more. Wasn't he from the dragon race? "How dare you go against my 10,000 dragon dynasty? Kneel down obediently and wait for my orders." "Just you?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. The onlookers were going crazy. Was Mad God really going to compete with the Crown Prince? The Dragon Prince stood with his hands clasped behind his back. Thousands of dragons circled around him. He said coldly, "That's right, because I'm the Imperial Prince." Humph! 10,000 dragons roared under his feet, and an extremely terrifying pressure of dragon blood rushed over. The pupils of the surrounding people shrank, and they quickly retreated. Even the Overlord, Zhu Long, and the others quickly retreated. This time, even Xiao Zhuang retreated. There was nothing he could do about it. The power of his imperial bloodline was simply too terrifying. Would this fellow be killed by the pressure of his bloodline? Some people thought to themselves. After all, in their hearts, the Crown Prince was like a god. Lin Xian naturally felt the immense pressure as well, and he shouted angrily. Behind him, dragon shadows appeared one after another, emitting terrifying dragon roars. These dragons were made of the myriad dragon god blood, and when paired with the power of the great dragon sword soul, it was as if they had transcended time and space to come to life. They fought against the 10,000 dragons in the sky. Boom! The two bloodline powers collided, causing an earth-shattering earthquake. The onlookers looked as if they had been struck by lightning. Their faces turned pale, and some even vomited blood. Damn it, what was going on? They stared at Lin Xian. He also had the Dragon Clan's bloodline and had so many dragon shadows. Was he also a member of the Dragon Clan? It was too unbelievable. It was shocking news that Mad God was a member of the Dragon Clan. "Who exactly are you?" The Dragon Prince frowned again. Apart from him, who else could command 10,000 dragons? However, the other party could actually conjure 10,000 dragon shadows. Those were not simple shadows, but they contained the Tyrannosaurus Rex, Black Dragon, Sword Dragon, Thunder Dragon, Sea Dragon, and various other dragon shadows. It was too unbelievable. If the Dragon Prince did not know that he was the only son of the Dragon Emperor, he would have suspected that the other party was also a crown prince. It seems that you have some secrets. Could it be that you have killed countless powerhouses of the Dragon Clan and used their blood to cast these dragon shadows? If that's the case, I will let you know the feeling of living a life worse than death. The Dragon Prince was furious. He thought about it, and there was only one possibility. His body descended towards the ground. An even more terrifying force swept in all directions, as if the dragon god had been resurrected. The demonic chi on Lin Xian's body was about to disappear. An even more terrifying light burst out from his eyes, like two divine lamps that lit up the world. He seemed to have seen through everything, and then he looked up to the sky and laughed. "Don't you think you are too arrogant for a mere incarnation?" Incarnation? This was just an incarnation of the Dragon Prince. Oh my god, just an incarnation was enough to make them feel like they were facing a formidable enemy. They could not even resist. How terrifying was the Dragon Prince's true body? He could kill all of them with one finger. Wait, in addition to the Dragon Prince, was Kuren Pengzi also an incarnation? Was this the Crown Prince? He was too powerful. He was so powerful that they seemed to be unable to compete with him for the rest of their lives. My incarnation is enough to deal with you. The Dragon Prince snorted with a trace of indifference in his eyes. In his eyes, other than Kuan Pong, who could make him serious, the others were ants. I heard that you were ranked 1,000 on the honor roll. Your identity is indeed amazing, but unfortunately, I am ranked second on the honor roll. I am destined to be crowned king in the future. The difference between you and me is the difference between an ant and a giant dragon. Now, I will make you feel despair. The Dragon Prince's incarnation raised a palm, which was surrounded by the shadow of a dragon. It seemed that this move could destroy the entire world. Lin Xian's face was cold. He had to admit that the other party was indeed very powerful. Even if it was just an incarnation, he had to go all out. However, he believed that with his trump cards and many unique techniques, he would be able to resist. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian's body emitted an even more terrifying aura. He even took out the Great Spear of Destruction. The Great Dragon's Sword Soul was circulating in his body. Was he really going to fight? Could the Mad God block this move? Previously, it was just a collision of bloodline auras. Now that the Dragon Prince was going to use a peerless divine power, the Mad God would probably vanish instantly. This palm of mine is called the Dragon Cloud Palm. If you can block this palm of mine and not die, I will spare your life today. The Dragon Prince's eyes were filled with strong confidence. It was just a casual attack, but it was not something that others could block. Not to mention the other party, even a mid-stage great sage outside would be destroyed by this palm, not to mention the other party. One palm? Lin Xian snorted. The Dragon Prince was underestimating him. Today, he would experience the Imperial Prince's unique technique. He also walked out. At this moment, the Golden Lion King roared. Fighting was not allowed here. Those who violated the rules would be killed without mercy. A loud voice rang out, causing everyone's expression to change. The Dragon Prince was even more furious. A lion dared to be impudent in front of him? He turned around. The 10,000 dragons under his feet roared as if they were going to tear the golden lion into pieces. Chapter 49:20. Boom. A terrifying sound tore through the 9 heavens. The golden lion's huge body shattered into pieces and disappeared into thin air. Was he dead? Countless people were shocked. Many of them had experienced how powerful the golden lion was before, but now it was destroyed by Long Yun with a single strike. Other than Kuren Pong, no one else could withstand this attack. Mad God would definitely die. All right, the fly is dead. Let's see who can stop me now. The Dragon Prince circled around. Everyone lowered their heads. Kuan Pengzi stood above the 9 heavens, his eyes flickering. He didn't stop him. He wouldn't go against the Dragon Prince for an ant. Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together. This was the strongest enemy he had ever encountered in his life. This was only the Imperial Prince. He didn't know how terrifying a true emperor would be. Lin Xian felt his blood boiling. He gripped the Great Spear of Destruction tightly, his eyes shining. At this moment, another voice sounded. It's useless. You can't kill me. Lin Xian was taken aback when he heard this, and he looked ahead. The others also raised their heads in shock. It was the Golden Lion's voice. Was he not dead? In the void in front of them, countless rays of golden light condensed, and the phantom of the Golden Lion appeared again. He walked over in the air. Not dead? The Dragon Prince frowned. Kuan Pengzi also spoke. You should be the Array Spirit, right? Array Spirit. Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian was also surprised. He was a formation expert, so he had naturally heard of array spirits. This was extremely impressive. It was an intelligent spiritual creature formed by a formation. It was an extremely mysterious existence. He didn't expect this golden lion to be the array spirit. That's right. The golden lion raised his head and said, I'm the array spirit, so you can't kill me. Can't kill you? Dragon Prince Long, "Humph, then I'll destroy this formation. Without the formation, let's see if you can survive." He was arrogant and unruly. There was nothing in the world that he couldn't do. The golden lion stopped and sat in the void. The light on his body became more and more terrifying. "Although you are the imperial prince, this is the heavenly court, the golden lion palace of the 12 Tao palaces. This is not a place where you can act as you please. If you want to contend against the true golden lion king, wait until you become a great emperor." The golden lion king's voice was incomparably cold. At the same time, a magic array appeared in the surroundings. The peerless killing intent caused everyone's hair to stand on end. No one hesitated. Under this attack, no one would be able to escape. Perhaps only a few imperial princes would be able to leave alive. Of course, this was on the premise that these imperial princes had extreme weapons on them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to fight back. Lin Xian also felt his hair stand on end. He discovered that not only did the array formation light up, the golden coffin in front of him also seemed to be emitting mysterious runes. From the looks of it, he did indeed have a peerless trump card. The two imperial princes looked at the golden jar and felt their blood run cold. Above, Kuan Pengzi frowned and spoke coldly. "Long Wu Gu, I advise you not to act rashly." This was the fearless Lion King of the heavenly court. The Dragon Prince frowned. The fearless Lion King? So it was him, the golden coffin of the 12 Tao palaces. What? Did he want to come back to life? What a joke. Even a great emperor was dead. It was impossible for him to come back to life. After saying that, he looked at the golden Lion King in front of him. "A mere spirit array dares to threaten me. Remember, when I become a great emperor, it will be the death of your golden Tao palace." As soon as this voice rang out, endless giant dragons roared in the world, forming an oath. The entire heavenly court also changed, and endless lightning fell. What happened? The people outside were shocked. Even the Lord of the Great Desolation, the Lord of the Dragon Radiance, and the others looked incomparably solemn. The heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals roared, their killing intent soaring. The golden Lion King's expression was solemn as he spoke in a deep voice. "The heavenly court will never be destroyed. Even if you become a great emperor, you won't be able to destroy it. Moreover, do great emperors think so simply? Since ancient times, no imperial prince had ever become a great emperor. You won't be an exception. The ancients couldn't do it, but it doesn't mean that I can't." The Dragon Prince took a step forward, his body exuding an earth-shattering, domineering aura. "I was born to break the rules of heaven and earth. I will definitely become a great emperor." This time, even Lin Xian was shocked. What a strong belief, what a terrifying martial Tao heart. He had to admit that the Dragon Prince was simply an invincible existence. He had the best bloodline talent, the most cultivation resources, the strongest martial Tao heart, and the most domineering demeanor. And the highest goal. It could be said that no one was a match for him. And this was just the Dragon Prince. Kuan Pengzi had awakened earlier than Long Huangzi, and his current cultivation level was higher. How far had he reached? Lin Xian felt immense pressure, but he wasn't afraid at all. He knew that there weren't many great emperors in history, but each great emperor had a different experience. Some were chosen by the heavens, sweeping through the world and becoming the eldest brother. However, there were also those who rose from the dust and stood above the 9 heavens. If the previous great emperors could do it, he was confident that he could do it too. At this moment, his eyes bloomed with an extremely terrifying confidence. That was the heart of invincibility. Boom, boom. Lightning struck between heaven and earth once again. Above the 9 heavens, the wind and clouds swirled. At this moment, everyone felt a tremor in their souls again. It was as if a supreme god was looking down on them. The Dragon Prince suddenly turned his head and stared at Lin Xian. "I didn't expect an ant like you to have an invincible martial Tao heart." Kuan Pengzi also looked over and nodded for the first time. Interesting person. However, just having an invincible martial Tao heart isn't enough. There aren't many people in this world who can compete with us. His eyes were filled with coldness. It was a coldness that looked down on the world. At their level, They were indeed qualified to look down on the world. Lin Xian smiled. How would you know if you don't try? My goal is also to become a great emperor. To become a great emperor. The surrounding people were shocked. This was their goal since they were born and knew about martial Dao. However, it was just a thought. When they really stepped on the path of martial Dao, they would give up on this thought. Because the further they went, the more they knew that it was impossible to become a great emperor. Especially now that they were peak sages, and some had even become great sages. However, they were already in despair. They knew that their cultivation speed would become slower and slower. The bloodline talent was like a cage that locked them tightly, making it impossible for them to enter the great emperor realm for the rest of their lives. In fact, in the hearts of these top geniuses, becoming a peak great sage was already a dream. However, this mad god dared to say that he wanted to become a great emperor. Was he naive? Did he really have such confidence? Kuan Pengzi shook his head. He felt that mad god was too naive. The dragon prince sneered. Stupid. You don't know your place. Kid, I won't kill you now. However, when you walk out of here, let's see who can stop me. Chapter 49:22. Look, the two princes have returned. Countless people exclaimed. They saw two godlike figures flying back. How is the prince? The people from the Thousand Dragon Court and the Sky Sect walked up and asked nervously. The two princes frowned. It seemed that just using their incarnations was not enough. If their original bodies were here, they could open it and take a look. Hearing this, everyone was shocked. The person buried in front was actually so terrifying. However, some people knew that the fearless Lion King was in existence that dared to challenge the great emperor. Even if such a person had fallen for countless tens of thousands of years, he would still have enough trump cards to deal with all changes. The people from the Thousand Dragon Court said, Dragon Emperor, let's leave and help Dragon Illumination Master and the others outside. The great battle outside was still erupting. Those heavenly soldiers seemed to be immortal and indestructible, giving people a headache. However, Long Huangzi stood there with his hands behind his back. The corners of his mouth curled up. No, I'm waiting for that mad god. I want to see where he gets the qualifications to challenge me. I'm waiting for mad god. The surrounding people were stunned. Zilong said, could it be that he's not dead yet? Impossible. Zhu Long also shook his head. He must have already fallen inside. The dragon prince snorted coldly. He's not dead yet. I see that the demonic energy is monstrous. He's sitting cross-legged in front of the 9th statue. It seems like he wants to comprehend the fearless lion seal. What? Did that guy really get it? The surrounding people were shocked. Some people's eyes instantly turned red as they gritted their teeth. Damn it. Zilong, Zhu Long, and the others were also jealous. However, the dragon prince sneered. It doesn't matter. Wait for me to kill him with one palm and collect his soul. The fearless lion seal can be given to you to cultivate. Really? Great, thank you, prince. They were extremely happy. However, Qing Hong, Zihong, Xiaozhuang, and the others frowned. It seemed that Mad God was very dangerous. With the dragon prince's words, no one was in a hurry to leave because they wanted to see what would happen next. After another half a year, which was the 3rd year, Lin Xian finally stopped in the sword world. The corner of his mouth raised into a smile. He formed a seal with his palm and pushed it forward. A golden light bloomed, turning into a fearless lion that charged forward. How terrifying! When the 4 spiritual beasts felt this aura, they were also astonished. What kind of ultimate technique was this? It was even more powerful than the man-ruler seal and the mountain-embracing seal. Lin Xian was overjoyed. Great, as expected of an ultimate technique comparable to a Thearchus theurgy. That being said, although the ultimate art was powerful, it was also difficult to cultivate. He had spent 3 years comprehending it, and with the help of the great dragon sword spirit, he had only barely grasped it. However, he did not continue cultivating, because he didn't know what the situation outside was like. From the looks of it, if he had the chance in the future, he would continue to cultivate and increase the strength of the seal of the fearless lion through actual combat. Now he had to leave quickly. Although there is the threat of the dragon prince outside, Lin Xian is confident that it was just the power of 9 young divine body and fearless lion seal. Next, he fused the power of the great dragon sword soul into the seal of the fearless lion. The fearless lion raised its head to the sky and roared as if it had come alive. The power of the strike it unleashed was several times stronger than before. Even the 4 spirit beasts were shocked, and they jumped in fright. Damn, I thought that the Golden Lion King had revived. The effect was not bad. Lin Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. He had only cultivated for 3 years. In the future, the seal of the fearless lion would become stronger and stronger. With a sway of his body, he walked out of the sword world. With a wave of his hand, his clone disappeared, and the demonic energy that filled the sky also dissipated. Lin Xian looked ahead and frowned slightly. The terrifying aura was still there. However, the 2 princes had already disappeared. He didn't know if they had succeeded or not. He, too, walked towards the golden coffin in front of him. When he approached, he felt a huge pressure. This power was much more terrifying than the 9 statues from before. Seeing someone walking forward, the golden lion array spirit appeared again. Lin Xian stopped and asked, "Senior, how was the battle situation? Those 2 princes didn't succeed, right?" The golden lion array spirit shook its head. The 2 incarnations did not have that much energy. They did not succeed and had already left half a year ago. However, I can feel that they did not leave the Dao Palace. They seem to be waiting for you. As expected, Lin Xian snorted. It seemed that the Dragon Prince did not plan to let him go. However, he would let the other party experience the seal of the fearless lion that he had just cultivated. What do you plan to do? Leave now? Let me give you a suggestion. You can continue to cultivate here. 10 years later, your seal of the fearless lion should be completed, and they should be able to leave. It was not a wise choice to fight with the princes now. Thank you for your kind intentions, Senior. 10 years is too long. I can't afford to wait. Senior also said that he was just an incarnation and didn't have that much energy. Indeed, if the other party's main body came, Lin Xian would probably have to cultivate for 10 years. However, Lin Xian felt that an incarnation was enough. Furthermore, his trump card was not something that the Dragon Prince could imagine. All right. The Golden Lion Array Spirit nodded. He said, "Can you let me see the results of your cultivation?" He also did not believe that a person could cultivate such an absolute art in 3 years. "Kid, let him take a look." Laughter rang out. Lin Xian was surprised. He suddenly raised his head and saw another figure in a black robe walking over. He looked like an old demon. Lin Xian smiled. "Black Mountain, why are you here?" That's right, it was Black Mountain. He walked over with a sky lantern in his hand. "I'm a member of the Heavenly Court. Why can't I come here?" Then, he looked at the Golden Lion and said, "Look at what I said. This kid will definitely go out immediately. You lost the bet." The Golden Lion snorted. "You already know him. This doesn't count." Lin Xian rolled his eyes. These 2 guys were actually using his matter to kill time? "Young man, let me see the seal of the fearless lion that you cultivated." The array spirit spoke again. Lin Xian nodded. The demonic chi on his body had disappeared. With Black Mountain here, he did not need to hide. The 9 young divine body released a powerful force. Then, Lin Xian sent a palm forward. A golden lion swept in all directions and ran forward. That power was shocking. He really cultivated it. The array spirit also exclaimed, "How did you do it in 3 years?" It was too shocking. This was not an ordinary martial art. Black Mountain said, "You are underestimating him. Not only does he have the 9 young divine body, he is also the successor of the Great Dragon Sword Soul." The Great Dragon Sword Soul was unparalleled in attack. It was not surprising that he could quickly master an absolute art. Moreover, he did not use the full power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul in the attack just now. If the Great Dragon Sword Soul and the seal of the Fearless Lion merged, It would be enough to block the dragon cloud hand that the dragon prince transformed into. Chapter 49:23. So that was the case. The golden lion was shocked. It seems like your trump card isn't much weaker than the dragon prince's incarnation. This time, Lin Xian's life shouldn't be in danger, but he still said, but this incarnation is much stronger. His true body was more than 10 times stronger than his incarnation. Not only did he possess an imperial scripture, but he could also use an extreme weapon. I understand. Thank you, Senior, for your reminder. But I still have trump cards. Lin Xian smiled. No matter what, I should be a member of the Heavenly Court, right? Of course. Black Mountain said, you are from the Heavenly Court. Kid, go out later. Work with me. I need the strength of those people to open a bunch of Heavenly Court foundations that have been sealed for a long time. What is it? Lin Xian was shocked. Was it related to the golden coffin? Black Mountain shook his head. No. It is a bunch of ancient people who have been sleeping. You can think of them as the master of the desolate wilderness, Feng Shaoqing, etc. When he heard that, Lin Xian was shocked too. Reviving people from tens of thousands of years ago was something the Purple Palace could do. The Heavenly Court actually had it too. However, he quickly understood. The Purple Palace and Heavenly Court were enemies, and their trump cards weren't much different. Otherwise, one side would have been wiped out long ago. Since the Purple Palace had ancient experts, the Heavenly Court definitely had some too. However, it seemed like it wouldn't be easy to revive them. Black Mountain said, I need really strong power to activate the formation for me to wake them up. I understood. Lin Xian and Black Mountain talked for a long time. After Lin Xian grasped the entire plan, he left. He knew what to do next. Okay, then I will go. His body shook and Lin Xian flew out. I followed too. The Golden Lion King ran over. Lin Xian didn't stop him. After all, who knew whether or not the Dragon Prince would use the entire 10,000 Dragon Dynasty to attack him? Moreover, there was Kuan Pengzi at the side. The people outside were getting impatient. 3 years had passed, and that fellow still hadn't come out. Was he going to continue comprehending? If he didn't come out for 10 years, or even 100 years, they were going to wait here. The Dragon Prince's face was also cold. He said that if he didn't come out in a month, they would leave. Go outside to assist Draconic Lord and the rest. Good. The 10,000 Dragons Dynasty's people nodded, and everyone else deeply breathed in. There was still 1 month left. However, after only 6 days, they raised their heads. 2 forces were flying towards him at high speed. Who were they? Was it Mad God? Then who was the other one? Here it comes. The Dragon Prince's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Not only was he powerful, but his soul was also powerful. He was far stronger than the people around him. Therefore, before anyone could react, he saw Mad God shrouded in devilish shadows. The other was the Array Spirit. Did the two of them come together? Was she afraid that he would go back on his word? He snorted disdainfully. The others soon discovered that 2 figures had appeared in front of them. It was none other than Mad God. They cried out in surprise. This was too inconceivable. He had already obtained the lion seal? One after another voice rang out. You actually dared to come out. I have to say that your courage is commendable. I thought you would hide in there for 100 years. Dragon Prince's clone sneered. 100 years? 3 years is enough. Lin Xian walked out and said, Come, let's see how you're going to suppress me. Beside him, the Golden Lion Array Spirit walked out and said, As the Imperial Prince, you have to keep your word. You won't go back on your word now, right? As expected, it was because of this. Dragon Prince sneered, Humph, why are you helping me after I cultivate the lion seal? But it didn't matter. 1 move was enough to kill him. He didn't want to use a second move. Kid, are you ready? Take out your strongest technique. Otherwise, you won't have a chance in the future. Dragon Prince's clone walked out, emitting a monstrous aura. The surrounding people retreated. The people of the 10,000 Dragons Dynasty and the Dragon Palace sneered. Going against the Imperial Prince was a dead end. The others were extremely worried. My husband should be fine, right? Xueqi was extremely nervous. Yi Wudao also rushed over. He knew that Mad God was Lin Xian, so he clenched his fists nervously. Compete with the Imperial Prince? To be honest, she was looking forward to it. Gu Feng, Peng Wanli, and the others were all watching intently. At the front, Lin Xian walked out without a trace of nervousness. He said, "I've never fought with the Imperial Prince before. Today, let me see how powerful the legendary Imperial Prince is." Lin Xian formed a seal with his palm. Endless golden light condensed in his palm. It turned into the phantom of a lion and was pushed out by him. A roar shook heaven and earth, carrying with it an indomitable and fearless aura. This is? The surrounding people were shocked and cried out in surprise. Fearless lion. That's the lion seal. Heavens, in just 3 years, he had already learned this kind of ultimate skill? Damn it, what kind of talent is that? Zhu Long, Zilong, and the others went crazy. It was as if they were dreaming. Xueqi heaved a sigh of relief. Yi Wudao, Gu Feng, and the others were also shocked. Even they couldn't master such a technique in 3 years. Even Kuan Pengzi was surprised. What high talent! The surrounding people were in an uproar again. What kind of glory was it to be recognized by the Imperial Prince? You have some strength. There aren't many people below the Imperial Prince who are more talented than you. The Dragon Prince nodded slightly. However, it's a pity that you met me. I won't give you a chance. Dragon Cloud Hand. His entire arm seemed to have turned into a true dragon, with clouds and mist lingering around his arm. When he struck out with his palm, it was as if a true dragon had poked its head out of the clouds and roared at the sky. It fought with the golden fearless lion. Roar! Roar! In an instant, the sky fell and the earth cracked. A violent storm swept out in all directions. Not good, retreat. The surrounding people quickly retreated, leaving only one figure standing in the same place. That was Kuan Pengzi. The black and white chi on Kuan Pengzi's body formed a set of armor, blocking all the power. It's still not enough. He looked at the scene in front of him and said indifferently. The dragon cloud hand turned into a true dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws, and pressed down on the golden, fearless lion. He pressed the fearless lion to the ground, making it unable to resist. Seeing this, the people in the distance cried out in surprise. The difference was too great. However, the fact that the madman could fight the Imperial Prince to this extent was enough to be proud. Zilong sneered. What's the use? From now on, he'll cease to exist. So this is the Imperial Prince? A mere clone could use such a terrifying technique. Gu Feng and Yi Wudao's eyes shone brightly. They were analyzing how they would deal with this attack if it were them. There was one more person, and that was Yao Guang. Yao Guang snorted coldly, his eyes shining with a cold light. If the madman died, he would definitely devour his corpse. Chapter 49-24. Did you see that? Kid, this is the difference between us. The cloud dragon hand pressed down on the fearless lion. The dragon prince laughed coldly. He used a little force and the other party was about to collapse. Sigh. Who could understand the feeling of being invincible? All right, kid. It's over. The dragon prince's eyes were filled with killing intent. The other party was indeed very strong and was a threat. If he was allowed to grow, he would be a problem in the future. If he didn't appear in the future, the Dragon Palace and the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty would suffer heavy losses. Hence, he couldn't allow such a person to live. The Golden Lion's light became dimmer and dimmer. The Cloud Dragon hand not only wanted to kill the fearless lion, but it also wanted to kill Lin Xian. The true dragon raised its head and roared. It stared at Lin Xian and was about to charge over. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Do you think I only have this much strength? It was just a warm-up. Now, I'll let you see the true fearless lion. Lin Xian didn't take out his true trump card. Now, he was going to activate the power of the great dragon sword soul. Stupid thing. Don't you see the truth? The difference between us isn't something you can cross. The dragon prince was angry. He waved his hand, and the golden lion in front of him shattered. The cloud dragon hand charged over and shattered the void. In an instant, it arrived in front of Lin Xian and enveloped him. The giant dragon roared, wanting to tear Lin Xian into pieces. Not good. Xueqi was nervous. Zilong and the others laughed coldly. Everything was over. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. He instantly formed a seal, and the power of the great dragon sword soul surged into the fearless lion seal. Instantly, an earth-shattering roar sounded. This roar was several times stronger than before. A lion flew out from his fingertips and pounced at the true dragon. Boom! This attack was really too terrifying. Everyone was stunned. They seemed to have seen a fearless lion that crossed the ancient time and space. Was the true god beast revived? Why was it so lifelike? The golden lion array spirit beside him also trembled and stood up abruptly. He was in disbelief. Why do I feel the aura of a soul? How did he do it? His face was full of surprise. To be able to use the fearless lion to this extent in just 3 years, it was too inconceivable. On the other side, Kuan Pengzi's eyes were also emitting black and white light. What was with this aura? His strength was more than 10 times stronger than before. Was this the kid's trump card? The seal of the lion pounced over and fought with the true dragon, suppressing it. The dragon prince was stunned as well. But soon, he came back to his senses. His face darkened. Had he underestimated his opponent? Boom. In the end, the true dragon was torn in half. The fearless lion roared towards the sky and charged towards the dragon prince. If he didn't fall and continued to grow at this speed, he might become an opponent in the future emperor's path. That included the fact that the other party could never win and was just a stepping stone. The others felt their scalps go numb. They couldn't imagine that Mad God was the strongest person under the emperor's sun. This was equivalent to a mountain pressing down on them, making it difficult for them to turn the tables. In the future, he would be their strongest opponent. That's great. You're not hurt, right? Xueqi flew over and asked with concern. Lin Xian shook his head. Qinghong, Zihong, and the others also flew over. They exclaimed, "You did it! You really did it! How did you do it?" They found it hard to believe. I did it because the Dragon Prince isn't invincible, but he's not invincible. Although Lin Xian made it sound simple, these people knew that other than Lin Xian, no one else could do it. Seeing that these people were still in shock, Lin Xian smiled. Let's go and help the divine generals. All right. These people nodded, and the group walked into the distance. The golden lion array spirit looked at Lin Xian's departing figure and revealed a smile. The fearless lion could be carried forward. He turned and continued to guard the golden Dao Palace. Everyone left? Then I'll start preparing. In front of the golden coffin, Black Mountain's figure turned into a wisp of smoke and disappeared. His plan was about to begin. Chapter 49-25. The battle outside was still raging. It had been 3 years, and those experts were not tired at all. They were much stronger than Lin Xian and the others. However, such unparalleled experts and super mighty figures were in the minority after all. However, there were many young geniuses like Zilong. Therefore, when these people joined forces and used various trump cards, they were able to fight back. In addition to the clones of the Dragon Prince and Kuan Pengzi, both of them carried an extreme power. That was the power of an extreme weapon, and it was extremely terrifying when they attacked. In an instant, many heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals were pushed back. Their bodies swayed, and the nomological laws on them dimmed. It's great that you're back. The experts were also happy to see their disciples return and heaved a sigh of relief. The divine generals all asked, "How was it?" Qinghong, Xiaozhuang, and the others told them, and the 4 great divine generals gasped. Inside was the legendary Taoist palace of the fearless Lion King, and it even had the cultivation method of the fearless lion seal. It was really unbelievable. However, what was surprising was that it seemed that only Lin Xian was cultivating it. Divine General Hai Yuan and Kuan Pengzi smiled. Great, Lin Xian was on their side. Lin Xian's strength made them feel gratified. Divine General Qian Chen's face darkened, and he said coldly, "Kid, if we didn't hold them back, how could you have entered? Teach me the cultivation method of the fearless lion seal." Lin Xian glanced at him and smiled. "You want to learn? You want to go to the Dao Palace?" You. Divine General Qian Shan was so angry that he vomited blood. "Are you going to be ungrateful?" Lin Xian said. "Don't judge me with your despicable heart." He ignored him and looked at Divine General Hai Yuan and Divine General Yun Ge. With a wave of his hand, he took out 6 weapon fragments. These were all given to him by the Array Spirit. He said, "Seniors, I can't teach you the fearless lion seal, but I'm naturally grateful that you brought me here." These 6 weapon fragments contain the Heavenly Court's Great Tao. If you can comprehend it and engrave it on your weapon, it can make your sacred weapon even more terrifying. The eyes of Divine General Hai Yuan and Divine General Hai Yuan lit up when they saw the 6 weapon fragments. The Tao of the ancient Heavenly Court was incomparably profound. If they could comprehend even a little bit, it would be a great improvement. Moreover, there were 6 of them here. If they split it between 2 people, each person could get 3. That's pretty good. Therefore, they put it away and said with a smile, "Then we won't stand on ceremony." Lin Xian only gave them to Divine General Hai Yuan and Divine General Yun. As for the other 2, he didn't give them to them. He was not brought in by the 2 immortal generals. The heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals didn't dare to resist at all. One after another, congratulatory voices sounded. As expected of the Dragon Prince, "Just show your divine might," and those heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals were defeated. "If you make a move, nothing can stop you." The Dragon Prince laughed and sped up. The group charged into the depths of the heavenly court. However, they discovered that other than the southern heavenly gate and the first Tao Palace, the 33rd heaven in the distance was indeed an illusion. No matter how they set off, the illusion would always appear in front of them. Another Tao Palace appeared in front of them. It was golden and dazzling. The heavenly soldiers, heavenly generals, and the armored giants all entered. Seeing this scene, the Dragon Prince and the others roared angrily and rushed in. It was another Tao Palace. Perhaps there was also a golden coffin inside. Even Lin Xian and the others were surprised. This time, the heavenly generals, peerless masters, and super mighty figures were all very careful. However, they discovered that there was an extremely strong seal on it this time. They couldn't open it at all. It seemed that they had to work together to break it. However, some people were puzzled. Why did this Tao Palace feel different from the first one? At this moment, Lin Xian received a voice transmission from Black Mountain. While everyone was discussing, Lin Xian walked out. There were 12 Tao Palaces, and each one was different. Was there a need to explain? If they were all the same, why were there 12? This one's aura was obviously more terrifying. If you're afraid of death, get lost. I want to go in. If I can learn another peerless theurgy. So what if you're an imperial prince? I still dare to fight. Now, everyone knew that Mad God had obtained the fearless lion seal. That was a peerless technique comparable to a theurgy. In addition, the other party's arrogant words made everyone's eyes turn red. Yes, there was no doubt. Obviously, the peerless technique inside was even more terrifying than the first one. We must get it. This time, even the experts of the older generation went crazy. Chapter 49-26. Lin Xian sneered. This was the effect he wanted. If these people were suspicious, they would investigate more strictly. This would be dangerous because there was a huge illusion array in front of them. There were no treasures inside. Inside was a place where a portion of the Heavenly Court's foundation was sleeping. Black Mountain needed these people to open the seal to let those people in. These people had been awake and investigating, so they should be able to find a flaw. At that time, they should not make a move. Therefore, they needed Lin Xian to stand out and be arrogant. The surrounding people were already about to make a move, but the 2 princes frowned. They had many trump cards. The 2 of them felt a trace of doubt and felt that something was wrong, so they suppressed the crowd. They did not let the crowd make a move immediately. Lin Xian cursed. As expected of the imperial prince, he had grasped the imperial sutra. It was really easy to fool him. It seemed that he could only continue to be arrogant. He stood out and shouted coldly, "Why? Don't you dare to make a move? A bunch of trash. Scram. I can already block the imperial prince's attack after obtaining the fearless lion seal. If I obtain another peerless technique, I can suppress the imperial prince. If you don't dare, I'll do it." As soon as these words were said, the surrounding people went crazy. Not everyone knew about this. After all, it was embarrassing that the Dragon Prince couldn't kill the other party in one move. The Thousand Dragon Dynasty naturally wouldn't say it. The others didn't dare to say it even if they wanted to. If they said such a thing in front of Long Huang, Zi, and offended the Dragon Prince, they would be slapped to death. It might even implicate their entire family and sect. Therefore, those people kept their mouths shut. Now that the peerless powerhouses outside heard this, their eyes almost popped out. Was that really the case? They asked one after another. The surrounding young disciples' expressions became incomparably strange. No one dared to say anything. However, no one explained. Those super mighty figures were smart and instantly understood. It seemed that it was true. Inside, the Dragon Prince and Mad God had already fought. In fact, they couldn't even kill Mad God. And all of this was not because Mad God was strong, but because the fearless lion seal was strong. These people's eyes turned red. Let's do it. Even the Dragon Reflection Master's eyes were burning. Although he was an expert of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, he didn't have the right to cultivate an imperial scripture. If he could obtain an exceptional divine ability that was comparable to an imperial scripture, his strength and status would improve even further. Not only him, but the eyes of the Master of the Great Desolation, the 9 Underworlds Demon Emperor, and the other super mighty figures were also red. This time, the 2 princes also frowned. It seemed that they could not suppress these older generation experts, especially when the Dragon Prince turned his head, his eyes bursting with terrifying murderous intent. He turned into 2 bolts of lightning and attacked Lin Xian. Boom! Lin Xian once again unleashed the seal of the fearless lion. The power of the great dragon sword spirit gushed out, as if it had transformed into a real fearless lion. He blocked the Dragon Prince's sight. This time, everyone saw it with their own eyes. They were all crazy. Attack! The Lord of the Great Desolation roared. Everyone attacked ferociously because the Mad God could really block the attacks of the Crown Prince. They had to break the seal. The Dragon Prince frowned, his killing intent biting cold. He wanted to kill Lin Xian, but he found that the other party had escaped. Humph! Ants will always be ants. The Dragon Prince turned around and continued to attack the Dao Palace in front of him. Lin Xian was not escaping because he felt that it was about time. He would not attack the Dao Palace in front of him. He had to be vigilant at all times and contact Black Mountain. "Kid, you're doing well." At this moment, Black Mountain walked over and smiled. Lin Xian was shocked. "You dare to come out?" Black Mountain said. "So what? There are so many people here. They won't be able to tell if I pretend to be one." The 2 of them communicated telepathically. Black Mountain was very satisfied with Lin Xian's performance. The people in front of him were attacking with all their might, but their powers were all absorbed by the formation. Black Mountain smiled. He said, "I have to move forward. When the formation is opened, I have to wake up those who are in a deep sleep." Lin Xian said, "What else do you need me to do?" Black Mountain said, "It's fine. This is enough." Lin Xian said telepathically, "Why do I feel that the 2 princes are searching for something? Also, how many mystic arts do the Heavenly Court have? Is there a great emperor's ancient scripture? If you have an ancient scripture, give me a copy." To be honest, it was impossible not to envy the great emperor's ancient scripture. After all, it was a mystic art created by the great emperor. It was the most powerful mystic art in the world. Lin Xian did not have one. Whether it was the Human King seal, the Mountain Embracing seal, the 9 Yang Divine Body, or the Fearless Lion seal, they were all top-notch mystic arts. However, compared to the emperor's ancient scripture, they were still a little inferior. Therefore, Lin Xian also hoped to obtain a copy of the great emperor's ancient scripture. However, these ancient scriptures were usually in the hands of the emperor clan. Even in the emperor clan, only a few people could cultivate it. It was even possible that only one person could cultivate it. Others wanted to obtain it? It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens, not to mention the people from other clans. Other than the emperor clan, Lin Xian had only seen one person who knew the great emperor's ancient scripture. That was Yin Nantian. Back then, Yin Nantian and he were locked in a fierce battle. He had used all his trump cards and spent a lot of effort to kill him. One had to know that back then, he had used the 9-yang divine body, the great dragon sword spirit, and many other mystic arts to kill a great emperor's successor. That was because the other party had not grown up and many of the great emperor's mystic arts could not be used. If the other party had grown up to this point, it would have been 100 times more difficult for Lin Xian to kill a great emperor's successor. Black Mountain said, "The heavenly court does have an emperor's scripture. However, that kind of thing is too rare. It requires a great opportunity. I don't even have it. Don't worry, if I really find it, I will consider giving it to you." After saying that, Black Mountain turned into green smoke and floated forward. Lin Xian sighed. However, he quickly adjusted his mentality. So what if he didn't have an emperor's scripture? He had the great dragon sword spirit. He was also incomparably powerful. The people in front attacked crazily. 3 months later, cracks began to appear on the formation. Great. These people had swallowed countless pills and absorbed a lot of energy in the past 3 months to be able to fight so desperately. At this moment, seeing cracks appear on the seal, they were so excited that they were about to cry. This time, even the Dragon Prince and the King of Kuanpeng made a move. They attacked with their extreme strength. Another 3 days of attack. 3 days later, the seal was finally covered with cracks. Then, with a crack, it shattered. Great, the seal has been broken. Charge! These people rushed in. Lin Xian also walked in from afar. He had been standing at the edge, ready to respond at any time. This is? After entering, the people inside were stunned. Even Lin Xian was stunned. He saw hundreds of figures in front of him. Those people were frozen in the divine crystal and had fallen into a deep sleep. Their auras were very weak. If Lin Xian did not use the heavenly secret divine eyes, he would not be able to sense that these people were still alive. Chapter 49:27. What was that? The people around were stunned. The Zifu's pupils constricted. The Dragon Prince and Kuan Zi's expressions changed. Don't act rashly and don't touch the god crystals. The Dragon Prince snorted coldly. Kuan Zi also said that they were still alive and sleeping. This was the foundation of the heavenly court. Hearing the two princes' words, the people around were in an uproar. The foundation of the heavenly court was actually here. These people must have grasped countless absolute skills. If he could collect their souls, he would be able to do it. If they could collect the souls, those techniques and secrets would be theirs. Everyone's eyes were red as they looked at the sleeping people and the god crystals. However, no one dared to act rashly. The Grand Prince had already spoken. Moreover, they knew that if they were careless, they might wake up these people. At that time, they would be in trouble. The elder from the Zifu walked out and said, "Two princes, we can't let these people from the heavenly court live. We have to kill them quickly. Even if you two princes have any thoughts, please hand them over to the Zifu after you act." Hearing this, many people gasped. It seemed like the Zifu wanted to completely destroy the foundation of the heavenly court. As soon as he said that, the eyelids of the people from the Zifu twitched. Even the two princes' expressions changed. They saw a figure in the crowd walking forward and stopping in front of the ceiling divine crystal. He reached out with a palm. "Stop!" The elder from the Zifu shouted angrily. "What are you doing? Don't you know that once the god crystals are broken, they will wake up?" The person in front didn't reply at all. Instead, he slapped the god crystals. Countless cracks spread out in all directions. Not good. He wants to wake them up. He is from the heavenly court. The Zifu roared. The dragon prince's eyes shone with a terrifying light that swept forward. Those eyes turned into millions of dragon shadows that roared in the sky. This is great. The dragon prince attacked. The people from the 10,000 dragon dynasty heaved a sigh of relief. One look was enough to kill him. The person in front turned around and a lamp appeared in his hand. Flames swept across the sky. It blocked all the dragon shadows. How was that possible? The people from the 10,000 dragon dynasty were shocked. The others were also in an uproar. The people from the Zifu exclaimed, "Heaven lamp, damn it! You are from the heavenly court. Was this a sky lantern?" Kuan-Peng-Zi's eyes shone brightly as he stared at the other party. The dragon prince's face darkened. "You dare to scheme against us?" He was furious. He felt that this was a trap. Up ahead, Heishan smiled, thanking everyone for providing him with strength to break the seal. "The heavenly court is extremely grateful. Damn it, it really was a trap," the dragon prince roared. The people from the Purple Mansion were also filled with killing intent. "Attack!" They shouted angrily and rushed over. However, Heishan's movements were even faster. Wherever the lamp passed, it brought with it a monstrous power that melted the surrounding divine crystals like snow. Over 100 figures appeared. All of them opened their eyes and roared at the sky. Some of them even punched out to fight against the Lord of the Great Wilderness. That figure was sent flying backwards. However, the face of the Master of the Great Desolation was extremely ugly. Although he had forcefully suppressed the other party had just awakened. Once the other party's strength recovered, the other party would not be any weaker than him. Sure enough, that person was a middle-aged man. He raised his head and roared, and the energy from all directions swept towards him like a tornado. His aura quickly recovered. He was not the only one. Over 100 other figures had recovered as well. Not good. The faces of the people from the Purple Mansion changed drastically. They looked at the Dragon Prince and Kuan-Peng-Zi. "The two Imperial Princes, please use your extreme Dao power to suppress them," Kuan-Peng-Zi said lightly. "I will not participate in the grudge between the Purple Mansion and the Heavenly Court." He walked to the side. Those who followed him, such as Tianzong and Divine General Wind Snow, also retreated to the side. The faces of the people from the Purple Mansion were cold as they looked at the Dragon Prince. "Dragon Prince, please help us. The Purple Mansion will reward you handsomely." "All right." The Dragon Prince nodded. "They dared to scheme against me. I will not let them go." The Dragon Prince walked out, and the extreme Dao aura on his body kept erupting. Although he did not bring an extreme Dao weapon, he brought an extreme Dao power with him. As soon as the aura was released, it suppressed the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Everyone felt as if they were facing a great enemy. Even the divine generals and super almighties turned pale. The power of an extreme Dao weapon was too terrifying. "Retreat quickly." The surrounding people retreated. The people from the Purple Mansion sneered as they retreated. The experts from the Heavenly Court had just awakened. They would not be able to withstand the extreme Dao power. The Lord of the Great Desolation took out a legendary saint weapon. Its terrifying aura was also vast as it stared at Black Mountain. He said coldly, "Although you have a sky lantern, it can only block one weapon. Are you trying to block the power of extreme Dao, or are you trying to block my full power attack? I'll leave it to you." Everyone's scalp went numb. The Lord of the Great Desolation was at the peak of the Supreme Saint realm. With a legendary saint weapon in his hand, his attack was enough to destroy the heavens and earth. The Dragon Prince's extreme Dao power was also terrifying. The Sky Lantern could not withstand the joint attack of the two. "Despicable. How dare you be the enemy of the Heavenly Court?" Hundreds of figures opened their eyes and shouted coldly. The people from the Purple Mansion sneered. "You destroyed the Heavenly Court back then. There is no need for you to live anymore." "Despicable." The people from the Heavenly Court looked pale as they looked forward. "You are the one with the Sky Lantern. Summon the Peerless Killing Array." Hundreds of people said coldly. Black Mountain said. The movement was too big. Some things protected by the Peerless Killing Array could not be revealed yet. However, the hundreds of people who had awakened frowned. The middle-aged man from before also said, "Although that was the case, The extreme Dao power was a legendary saint weapon. We have just awakened and can't fight against them. Black Mountain said, Don't worry. Who said that we only have one sky lantern? The Heavenly Court experts who had just awakened were stunned. The others were also puzzled. Were there still Heavenly Court experts here? They were facing a great enemy. In an instant, many people held their saint weapons and looked around. Black Mountain said, Kid, it's up to you. Lin Xin sighed, but he still walked out. When they saw Mad God, everyone was stunned. Could this guy be from the Heavenly Court? The Purple Mansion side was filled with killing intent. The Dragon Prince frowned. Kid, are you here to die? Although I promised you that I would not kill you if you dodged my attack, that was the last time. But that was just now. If you want to attack again, I don't have any restrictions. I will let you go to hell. Lin Xin laughed. Do you really think you are an emperor? You are just an emperor. Moreover, you are just an incarnation now. What right do you have to say such words? I advise you to get lost now. Otherwise, I will let your incarnation die later. I will let you become the laughing stock of the world. The surrounding people were stunned. Even Kuren Pongzi frowned. Where did he get the courage to say such words? Although they were just incarnations, they had extreme Dao power. The surrounding great sages were no match for them at all. Not to mention killing them. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.